Hey, what's up, grappling fans? It's your friend, Rafa Sparza. We're about to go live, but you know how things work. When things are in fast forward, we have to already bring on Dan Hubler. Before we can do that, we have to put on his branding. So let's move forward.
Bitch better have my money. Bitch better have my money. Baby, what you want me? Bitch better have my money.
Dan, how are you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Looks like we're getting started pretty right off the bat here.
We are definitely getting started very quickly. So I'm super stoked. Hey man, talk us through this. Last week was a big week. What happened last week?
So last week was week number 3. We had Adesanya minus 5.5 points. Obviously, the points didn't even come into play. He got that second round TKO. So that one won us $6.25. Brandon Royval, even though it looked like things looked sketchy for a little bit in that first round, and he threw that crazy spinning elbow to flying Gogo Plata craziness, he got the win for us. That was another $3.85. And then Caitlin Vieira, we took her with the money line. She got the win pretty dominantly. That's another $2.70. And then Min Hakim, we took him scorecards, no action, because I thought it was going to be a pretty close fight. I was afraid if it went to the judges. It was a pretty close fight. He ended up winning by split decision. But with the scorecards, no action bet, if it goes to the judges, that bet is canceled. And I don't feel too bad about, that one being canceled, because I thought that fight could have gone either way.
Absolutely. And so where does that leave us, I guess, just in terms of where we stand?
So we are up a total of $12.80 last week for a grand total over the course of the last 3 weeks of $19.32. So we are almost at double our initial investment, and things are looking good so far.
I think that's a remarkable way to play. At this point, I have branding down here to let people know. If you were playing the Price is Right, you would be ahead. You would be net positive. Now, before we even get to your picks right now, we just want to reassure people, Dan, we do not have people who are on the line for this match, correct?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Oh, well, then let's pull. Oh, shit. Hold on. Then let's pull that up very quickly then, because those bets have already happened. But I'm glad that you were able to put it up very quickly. Oh, no, don't do that. All right. So I'm going to get to a comment and see on here, just in case you guys are wondering. We'll get to your question in a second, Jordan. But for right now, walk us through your rationale, sir.
All right. So, the Ayari fight, the money line, it's pretty dead even. It's basically a coin flip of a fight at minus 115. I lean towards Ayari on this fight. I think it's going to be pretty close, kind of like the odds makers are predicting. But I think Ayari has the better experience against better competition. As the production staff on the UFC was just saying a moment ago, I thought he won that Stevie Ray fight. It looked like he was doing the more effective striking in that fight. And they also made a big deal about Ayari's layoff. But I mean, his opponent is coming off, a 742-day layoff. He has not fought in over 2 years. And the last time he fought, he was knocked unconscious with this big, giant flying knee. So I think, as far as the layoff goes, I think it plays into Ayari's favor. And also, we look at the quality of opponents that his opponent has faced. Venerami has only faced 2 guys that have a decent record. 6 of his 8 wins have come across guys with losing records, a combined 1 win and 15 losses. So when we look at his record with the 8 wins, just know that 6 of those have come against opponents that he probably should have been beating in the first place. If he's able to beat Ayari here, which it looks like he's about to do, it is definitely his most impressive win of all time.
Well, one might say we're in good standing here. So, Dan, can you tell us what you just saw on your side?
So I was kind of looking at it, but I did see a head kick that looked like it landed. And I saw some follow-up punches to the ground and a wobbled Ayari, and so we are down on that one. That's a lot.
Does it feel difficult to, when we do start the show, have something happening that you go, well, here's clearly why that's okay?
Yeah. Well, like I said, it was a coin flip of a fight. As far as the odd makers go, I thought it was going to be a close fight too. It was close until it wasn't.
That's fine. You know what? Let's see what that is going to cost us right here, right now.
That's a $10 loss right there. Oh, that's a $9 loss. I'm sorry.
A $9 loss. Okay, so hold on. Let's go back to our original here. We saw this as our barometer. Unfortunately, I don't have a sound machine yet. but I'm sure we can invest in one sooner than later. So that, unfortunately, kids, is going to go down to a grand total. Oh, wait, it was 9. Motherfucker. Yeah, that works. Okay. And I'll just do the sound myself. But Dan, we're still ahead. That's the important thing for people to know, right?
You can still almost buy 2 Travis Scott meals at McDonald's for that. So,
What is a Travis Scott meal?
It's basically a double quarter pounder, but it has bacon on it now, and it's cost $6 even for the Travis Scott meal.
I didn't even know that was an option, but thank God we have you on here to inform me. All right, let's go to where other things are.
They have spicy chicken nuggets too, by the way.
Spicy chicken, I've never broached that. I'm only starting to get into spice now, and it's taken me a long time to get there, Dan.
Okay, I respect it. It's a worthwhile journey.
I've been told. I would tell you this though, that I grew up with Hispanic family members who were all very spice friendly, and the fact that I'm now just coming on, I don't even want to tell them because like my tolerance for spice is just at entry level. So let's do this. Let's concentrate on the fights that we have at hand. Why don't we go to our next pick, because you're telling us that we need to pay attention to the ladies division, correct?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a candidate for fight of the night as far as these two girls go. Loma and Fry, I think that they both are going to bring it the entire 3 rounds. I don't see this one ending before we hit the judges' scorecards, but I do see both of them having their moments in this fight. I think when we look at Loma's history, she struggled with people who have been physically stronger than her because she's mostly fought up. She's like probably like a natural like 105 pounder, but she's always had to kind of make do in the higher weight classes. And when we look at like her past opponents, and even like Angela Hill in her last fight, or in that fight against, who was it, Albu, the physically stronger people kind of have the ability to hold her up against the cage, take away some of that dangerous Muay Thai. And I think, when we look at those advantages, Fry has a lot of those as well. So as far as this fight goes, I do, again, it's a coin flip of a fight. The odds are, damn near even. But I'm taking the, one side of this fight, I'm taking Fry. I think that, as far as who can dictate where this fight takes place, it's going to be Fry. I think she has the ability to, push Loma up against the fence, kind of wear on her a little bit. I mean, pretty much everyone is going to have at least a bit of a slight physical advantage over Loma just because of how small she is. And I think Fry is going to be able to do that. And as far as like cardio goes, if we look at this fight, it's a 3-round fight, no longer a 5-round fight. I think Fry has been conditioned for those 5-round fights, and I think she can use her physicality for the 3 rounds fairly easily here.
I'm trying to listen to the interview. The post-fight interview is interesting to do while also doing a show live, but it's even more difficult when you have someone speaking in broken English and trying very hard to nod their way through it to be like, yes, I understand your question, but I don't want to take away from him. We'll get to a cheers for him in a moment. I was very curious about that pick, so I am glad you were able to explain that for us. We're going to keep our notes here going. Now tell me about this, because this is one that I don't even know that I would have picked, but go on, sir.
Oh, you're talking about the third one, Imavov. I think, if you have a V in your last name, you're guaranteed at least 1 takedown. Like, you're going to score at least 1. So if you have at least 1 V, you're going to get at least 1 takedown. You got 2 Vs, you're getting at least 2. I think in this fight, Imavov has the good chance of ending this fight pretty early. We've seen his hands in his last fight. He looked pretty great. He fought, a UFC veteran. It was John Mounier. And, he threw a ton of volume. He threw some great counters, straight down the pipe. He landed a lot of good punches. And when he had Mounier hurt, he jumped on it. He went for the finish. He went for the kill, and he got it. In fact, becoming the very first person to ever finish John Mounier by TKO. So I think as far as the power and the hands go, I think he has the advantage here. And I also think he has the advantage with the ability to dictate where the fight takes place. I think he'll land at least a takedown, and maybe he'll even just feint the takedown just so he can let his hands go. But if the fight goes to the ground, I see him having a pretty big advantage. And on the feet, I think he has the power advantage. I like Williams a lot. I like his story a lot. But I also think with his inability to cut weight, eventually as he goes up in the ranks and fights more elite fighters, his inability to cut weight is just going to, continuously put him at a disadvantage. We saw in his last fight against Rodriguez that, he looked like a whole weight class below. And, obviously that fight, he came out in his favor, and I bet on him in that fight because I thought favorably the stand-up, kind of pointed to him. But in this fight, when I kind of look at all the different aspects of it, I think that this is going to be kind of the point where he realizes that he can't continue to fight these bigger guys and be successful in the greatest promotion.
Fair enough. All right. So just to kind of review, because I want to make sure that we're going over this properly. So we're scratching the first with not Justin. Sorry. Hold on real quick. I got to pull it up right here. So we are pulling a Yari, but we still have 3 that are in play. So you mentioned a second on here. What is the second element for Imavov?
I threw a dollar on him at those odds. It was, plus 300, $1 to win $3. You're getting a 3-time return on your investment. I think if he does win this fight, it'll be by early knockout. I think he's going to probably go for it in that first round. I think Williams is going to come in there with a lot of emotion and probably know that he needs to win pretty early too. I don't think with his smaller frame, he's going to win a fight that goes 15 minutes. So I think that they're both going to kind of throw him out there in that first round, and then someone's probably going to get knocked out. And if it's Williams who gets knocked out, then that plus 300 number looks pretty good.
Fair enough. We did have a question here, Dan, that I'd like to field. This one comes from Jordan Jitsu, and it says, what does Dan think of the line on the main event tonight?
I think the line makes a lot of sense. I do see Holm as the rightful favorite. I do think that she has a lot more to offer on the feet than Aldana does. But I also see, Aldana's this younger fighter who's, learning from fight to fight. She's improving. Holm's on the tail end of her career. I think she's 35. So I could see, at any moment any fight, she could suddenly slip up. And so I do think Holm is probably going to get the win here, probably by a fairly low output decision. But I wouldn't be absolutely shocked if Aldana was able to get the victory here. I do think, in her last fight, she showed, some grit. I thought Caitlin Vieira was kind of whooping her ass, and then she threw that, that hook out of nowhere and turned the fight around, and she kind of pushed through it. So I do think she's probably going to take some damage against Holm, and whether or not she could fire back is kind of, I guess we'll find out tonight.
Before I get to a recap of what people need to be betting on that we still have in play, there was some rumbling about tonight not being a great card. What are your thoughts on that?
I think every time people bitch about that stuff, the cards turn out pretty amazing. I mean, we already had a first-round knockout. What do you expect? You have all these, up-and-comers who you maybe don't have the same name recognition as some of the headliners do, but the point is they have to fight for that. And, some of these people are going to come out there. Some of these people on this card need that bonus a whole lot more than Conor McGregor does. So when we look at these cards where there's a lot of people who are unranked, a lot of people who are making their debuts, they're fighting for that bonus. They're fighting for their, their career. They don't have any stability in this company. There's no union in the UFC. So when we have these fights, full of unranked people, I usually see them being pretty exciting more often than not.
I got another question here. This one's from According to Woods. What does Dan think of line dancing tonight?
What line is he referring to? I think that's going to be the most important thing. Yeah, I would also like to mention, if you look at bestfightodds.com, you can see the line movement for any given fight. You can also see the line history for any given fighter. So if you were to look up Holly Holm, you could see, how often has she opened up as a favorite versus the underdog? Where's the line moved down? Right now, Holm versus Aldana is a straight up pick 'em. Both of them are minus 110. So it is literally a coin flip of a fight. But yeah, I guess we'll kind of see.
Have you already looked at, you mentioned a little bit earlier about Conor McGregor. Have you already looked at the line with Conor and Dustin Poirier?
I hate betting on those kind of lines because I feel like they're interest-free loans to the sports book because they're so far out or they're never going to happen, and by the time they give you your money back, they've just had it for months on end. So the only types of bets I like that are the futures bets where you bet on who's going to be the World Series champion at the very beginning of the season. Those are fun. But as far as betting on hypothetical fights that are who knows how often the distance. I don't like betting on those. I'd rather wait till closer to the fight and see how the line moves and so on.
Well, if we're talking about very close and very far fights, tomorrow there's also a submission underground. I know we very briefly talked about it. I don't even look to see if the lines move because so many of those bets are ridiculous. But is there anything for Submission Underground that you like tomorrow?
I'm gonna have to pull up those lines. I believe they should have them on my bookie, but I'm gonna have to take a look. Do you have them handy that you can pull them up? I think we had discussed these, right? We had talked about them. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to bet on those fights because I feel like as far as Submission Underground goes or any kind of grappling fight, I feel like it's in your best interest to at least throw a flyer out on every underdog, because I feel like in a type of event where you can go to overtime and just escape faster than the other person, you don't have to be the better grappler. You just got to get out faster than the other person. I feel like it's kind of like a Hail Mary, throwing things up in the air, and who knows? Like no one deserves to be a negative 800 favorite in Submission Underground when OT exists. I mean, if it was a straight up submission only match, then obviously some of these giant favorites are justifiable giant favorites. But when we can go to overtime, and most of those matches do go to overtime, and it becomes more of a game show element, I don't see how you don't throw $20 on every underdog on that card. I lost your audio, ref.
I got you. I was just saying that's fair, and I am looking for it. I do not see it at the moment, so I don't know.
I stand by what I said. I don't care what they are. Throw $20 on every underdog and just see what happens.
That's unofficial to the actual record count, just to make sure everybody knows. If you threw $20 on there right now and you come back and you say this is a net negative, we aren't responsible for that on this show. So let's recap here. I just want to make sure people understand from the fights that we have left, you are enjoying the Jin Yufrai at plus 105, 5 to win, 525. You have mentioned that she looks really solid, that you believe that she's going to be able to put it on her opponent. And then you have also mentioned to us that Imov with 2 Vs is guaranteed at least 1, if not 2 takedowns based on a name like that, which I think is perhaps your most scientific work to date, Dan.
Yeah, he's from Dagestan. Like, if you're from Dagestan, you have a V in your name. Like, there's no way you didn't wrestle bears at some point in your life. Like, you're guaranteed at least 1 takedown.
So, okay, let me see. Those are the lines that we have for tonight. I do want to make sure. Is there anything that you're excited for outside of what we mentioned here tonight?
Not really, and some cards are not so easy to bet. Like this one, for example, I couldn't find 4 fights that I really wanted to bet on. I found 3 that I kind of liked, and I threw in a prop for one of them and doubled up on that one fight. But this was one where the lines all make sense. I don't see a lot of things that are kind of out of order. The people who are favorites at a moderate amount are justifiable favorites, and I don't see a lot of the underdogs having a whole lot of value. Obviously I was wrong about that first one, but that was also a coin flip of a fight. The odds were pretty much even. So in this fight right here, Casey Kenny, a minus 370, he's probably going to win this fight, but do I want to throw $370 on him to win $100? Not really. So I'm going to enjoy the fight. I'm going to like watching it. I'm going to assume Kenny's probably going to win, but at minus 370, that's not a fight I feel like betting on.
Well, how about Collar's Condit? Are you excited for that fight at all?
I just hope no one gets hurt in that fight. Like, that would be ideal for me, is to see both of them come out of a close decision with some small victories within the fight where, both of them look good here and there and nobody gets seriously injured. But I mean, those guys have been fighting for so long. They have so much wear and tear on their bodies. It's just hard to watch, like we watched Diego last weekend, and that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Did you the Ben Askren imitation? Not the Jorge Masvidal imitation. I'm sorry, I have to name that correctly. Where he had the hands behind the back and he tried to do the knee, and like it came from it was like Karate Kid distance. It was like nowhere close. I'm like, oh my god, dude, there's the side by side with Diego on one side and Jorge on the other one, and both of them up against the cage. It's hard to watch, man, because it's like, those are the fights that when I first started watching MMA where Diego Sanchez was the young up and comer. And now here he is as this guy who's on his way out. And, we wish we would take his health in his best interest and retire. But Yeah, it's a tough watch. It's a tough watch for sure.
Joffrey says he likes Kenny in this bout, so thank you very much, Joffrey. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just know that I'm excited to see Carlos fight. I don't know how many of these opportunities we're going to have going forward. I like him a lot as a human being, but would I be just as equally fine if he said, I'm good? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the ideal scenario here is either a close decision or someone wins by submission. You know, like no one gets knocked out brutally. Yeah. Someone just gets tapped, and they both can keep their heads high. And yeah, I think that's kind of the ideal scenario here.
Well, I wanted to also thank you. I mean, obviously, I'm wearing a shirt that seems familiar to you. Where would people go to find shirts? Maybe not this one, but shirts like this, if they were so interested, sir.
Well, if they were interested in the best jiu-jitsu federation that it currently exists, it would be the IPAJJF, which you can find at IPAJJF.com. I make some other random stuff too. It's not all beer and jiu-jitsu related. I kind of like, since I've exited Nuaza Apparel, I've kind of just had the freedom to make whatever I feel like. If I have an idea for a Topo Chico Jiu-Jitsu shirt, I'll just make it over lunch and see who likes it too. So I kind of have expanded into whatever I feel like and make them when I feel like. And if you like them, cool. And if you don't, go join the, what's the other one called? I think it's like the IBJJF or something like that.
I think, yes, historically.
They probably make apparel too. I don't really know. I don't follow those guys.
Well, they also make over $2 million reportedly. Nice kick or nice punch there by Jenny. I would just tell you this. These are great shirts. Very nice, very easy fitting. So I enjoy them. I have always enjoyed your designs. And you know what, Dan? I think you've done so many designs over the years. You can just afford to take these moments and go, you know what? This is going to be a limited edition, kids. These are your new Jordans. So get excited for when they come out or don't.
Yeah, I thought about doing some kind of crazy cool like tie-dye stuff, and like there's a bunch of cool like streetwear vibes I'm really into right now, but it takes so much fucking work. I don't want to do it, I'd rather just put the designs up and see who likes them and not have to do too much on my end. This Kenny fight's looking like he might get a stoppage pretty early too.
Yeah, and Kenny is doing that thing where he loads up on one button on Street Fighter and keeps pressing it, and yet is becoming fairly...
He's also like playing his 8-year-old nephew, and he's just fucking destroying him.
So they apparently are going to stop to give him a moment to put the mouth guard in, because I think the ref is like, I think you're going to need this, bro. It might be pretty soon for you.
There's like very little coming back on there. It's like when you unplug your little brother's controller and you let him think he's playing.
This is so sad. I mean, hey, listen, homeboy's still up, so I'm not going to.
Oh hell yeah, more power to him. He's staying up on his feet, but at some point, like what cost? How many more significant strikes does your brain need to take?
I would tell you this: it is a very strange time to watch these fights and think, well, at least he's still standing. That's a positive for him. So that is a very good thing. He has 40 seconds if he wants to make it through. And that's a nice statistic, a 64% on significant strike accuracy rate, but 48 significant strikes.
Yeah, 48, almost all of them to the head. So like 48 strikes in round number one. I mean, I keep thinking, my wife has brought it up since the beginning of quarantine. Like, what if one of these guys is out of the hospital right now? Like, now is not the time I would want to go to the hospital.
Yeah, my my mother-in-law likes to remind us that she's a nurse. So if you do talk about anything current or political per se, I guess at this moment, she's definitely like, I've read all the charts. And I go, well, you know what? Good. I'm glad that you can inform us and let us know. And it is quite the task. So I love the idea of her being like, you going out with the mask? And I'm like, yeah, where do you think I'm going to go right now? My job is here for tonight, so I've already pulled up. This is my evening here. Dan, I would ask you this. I don't know if it would be too painful for you, but I always like to, if we get a fight finish here, if you would like to do the toast.
No, and there is of course not. What do you mean? It's cost me $9.
I'm just saying it could be cathartic, Dan. And
no, not at all. I've already moved on mentally from that fight. I'm not even. It no longer exists to me. So this is the first fight of the night, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, we were just doing a pre-show, And Dan, I got to tell you, man, there's something exciting. I mean, obviously, I still use StreamYard. I like this a lot, but there may be something in the future where we might get some new fancy layouts. We may get some new fancy toys to play with on the show. So I will keep you abreast of that. But I want people to know that if you like little things like this, which, by the way, before I was going to let you go tonight, I still feel when you send me your bullet points, there are things that I laugh at that I don't know other people will. But I'm going to replay the one that I still think is maybe your strongest work, and I think that's why you led with it. But you saying that the judges were on crack is the kind of thing that makes me say, if I do my job and I get us on ESPN one day or any of the cable sports, and I don't get something like that on the air, I feel like I will have failed as a broadcaster.
Yeah, I mean, the judging inconsistency over the last, I don't know how many years has been just ridiculous. I think it really does point towards open scoring being like universally accepted, because in that fight, I thought Ari clearly won at least two, maybe if not all three rounds of that fight. I think Stevie Ray did a really good job of grunting really hard when he threw strikes. And I don't know if like the judges like really valued grunting. But yeah, it's just so inconsistent. I really love watching the Invicta fights because you have the open scoring. You could see in between rounds, you know, they have the numbers up. I think that's really invaluable. It's just like going back to like, you know, my teaching career, like why would you not want students to know their grade? Like how are they going to do better if they don't know what they have? So it's like, if you want these fighters to fight better, like they should know where they stand in a fight. I don't see any disagreement for showing them the scores.
I mean, there's some nice return. He is showing signs of life in this second round, so that is a little bit more encouraging to see. Although Kenny is still looking super strong there. I would agree with you. I just think the judges, just from my experience of both kind of being around them and kind of getting a sense of what they are, I don't think they give a fuck about you getting better. I think they're all about like, listen, dude, they're paying me nice. I'm just gonna put down some points on a fucking card and go home.
That would be such a great job too, because I mean, it doesn't matter. Like you could be fucking terrible, you know what I mean? They keep bringing you back. How many fights has Saldo Yamato fucked up? You know,
Jesus Christ, I know.
So when we look at like if you look at a fight where you could just do whatever you want, then yeah, I mean, that seems like a pretty cool job. Maybe when I retire, I'll look into it.
Well, number one is to make sure I get you on a future version of a cable sports show where you get to say that judges were on crack. That is goal number one. Goal number two,
allegedly. You can't sue me for libel if I say allegedly, right?
I don't think anybody's going to be able to sue anybody based off of some hearsay on this. Ooh, nice kick over by Kenny. I would also say this: the secondary idea I've always had is to create a fighter's court where you get to bring the judges on a show and they have to explain their judging cards. And I think when you talk about not having stuff to put on Fight Pass, I think that would make a compelling reason. Fuck a watch party. We're a watch party. Don't do what we do, UFC. Create something better and let me produce it, because I guarantee you that would have a higher dividend return to have people watch to see any one of those judges go. So I'm going to bring up some evidence called leg kicks. Have you seen them? Do you understand what they do?
I like where you're going with this, but I see this more as a hybrid law/game show where trial by combat is an option. And like the judges might have to like wear a fat suit and get chased by like a German Shepherd or something like that. Like I feel like there should be some kind of game show element in order to get people watching.
All right. You're making me actually pitch this now, but I've had this in my pocket. Essentially, take the voices chairs, and you don't know who the fighter is, but they turn around. You immediately have to go one round with them sparring. So I think that would be a way more compelling component, because nothing would be too scary if you see Kelly Clarkson turn around a chair. But on the other side of that, you get Israel Adesanya. Things might change, my friend. So anyway, Dan, we appreciate you. We appreciate your time. It is always well-earned and well appreciated here. And hey, kids, we are still at a net positive. And all things considered, I don't want to jinx this, we will not go under tonight. So we are going to look forward to these next couple bouts. We're going to keep an eye on them, as we're going to keep an eye on Kenny's, I guess, head and body shot count, because those should be problematic going forward. But Dan,
yeah, at some point you're too tough for your own good, man. You just got to sit down.
Normalize throwing the towel for your corner. That's kind of what we kind of have to do at a certain point here. All right, man. I'm gonna let you get on out of here. Dan Hubler, everybody.
All right, take care, guys. Bye.
Peace. Well, we're off to a smashing start. My name is Rafa Esparza. I am the host of the Grappling Hour, which, by the way, just celebrated its 2-year anniversary. We're about to start season 3 this week. I appreciate you being here. A few little housekeeping things. Number 1, if you like us, give us a like and a share on Facebook, and we will give you a toast on air. That is a promise. That is a value. That is something that we uphold here on the show, and we hope that you're like, I have to get the judges were on crack banner off of here. It's still so funny to me. Anyway, kids, what can I tell you? It's been a wild week for the UFC. Last week's fights were a blast. We're obviously just starting on Fight Island shenanigans. We're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. So let's get all the kids together. I want to get that poll out of the way. Anyway, you guys tell me what you're feeling right now. It says, Uncle Raph, there is no way I could take one of those body kicks. Yeah, I don't think so either. You know what's funny is I am working my striking. And occasionally, the guy who I work it with, he's a fighter. So he'll throw in a kick just for shits. And I'm still at the place where I'm swatting the kick away as opposed to checking it. Because he's like, what are you doing? I was like, you didn't tell me you're going to throw a kick. So I fucking punched it away. Fuck your leg. I don't need that negativity in my life. But yes, to your earlier point, bro, those are body kicks. Yeah. I mean, it's not looking very, very solid for Alingenheli, or again, Ely. Ugh. It's just not good. I have 4:40 left on my clock. It is the third and final bout, which, by the way, the fact that he's still in here, my God, good for him. We're going to do this, and we're going to make sure to share this on all of our systems. We're going to be keeping an eye out for you guys who are giving us toasts throughout the evening. We still have to do one toast for Luigi Venderimi, which, by the way, Luigi Vandermini? Vandermini. Yeah, we're just going to go with that. That's as good as he's going to get on my pronunciation on any part of these things. 4 minutes left. And you see Kenny coming in with a kick. He was going low and then went straight mid-body again. Slices through with a nice jab there. Does not get too much on that. Oh, my goodness. So we continue to see. Now he's backing up a little bit and letting Alentengeli kind of chase him down. But he is, oof. Ah, God. If you guys were playing a game of shots for every body kick landed here, look at that man's ribs. They do not look okay. He has a full imprint on him that is akin to something, Jesus, Dominic Reyes from last week. I do not like seeing that impound on his stomach. That's terrible. Jesus. Anyway, kids, I mean, we're winding down. It's 3 minutes left in this, and then we can kind of pretend like this didn't happen. This is a rough one to watch. And, you know, Dan had some choice things to say this evening, and we appreciate his time. It's just, I'm glad we got him out of here so we could all go to our respective corners and just feel really hurt by Kenny's kicks, man. This is fucking yikes. Love that. I did see a share from our good friend According to Woods. I'm going to give you a toast in a second, my friend. I'm going to take a look over on the Instagram as well, just to make sure y'all are following along. Yes, we're going to broadcast on there all night as well. Just to let you guys know, we also are doing a fight companion for tomorrow's Submission Underground. I think it's the 18th one. I don't remember at this point. They do begin to start bunching up a little bit, so it is hard to kind of keep track of which one's which. So don't go anywhere. Woo, he connects with a spinning back elbow that looks it's so mean at this point. Jesus. At what point, though, do we start talking about the option of throwing in the towel? Because I think, oh, God. Oof. he is ducking under that one. And UFC, all gas, no brakes is what is being said here. That is not inaccurate. I would tell you guys this. Hello. We got shares. Oh, we got double shares from Dane and Adam. Look at that. Y'all are trying to win favorite of the show. So yes, I will commentate on that, and maybe one Adam Woods is going to get the rare distinction of being the first person to get 2 toasts in one night. I haven't figured it out yet. So, ooh, yikes. Oh, last minute here, mercifully done. And Kenny is like literally just finding his way. At this point, it's like he's fighting that kicking doll that you have. What do they call that one? Bob? I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments. I'm too lazy to look up my own references at this point. I think I put this up there, but yeah, Kenny is so high level. Absolutely, dude. This dude's a fucking monster, man. He has broken through the hands of Elendini this entire time, and he will probably make it all the way to the last few seconds of this fight. So bless this guy. Ugh. Let's just never speak of this one again, kids. This is too much to look at. Just to remind you, the next fight is one that Dan says to keep an eye on, and that is Jin Yufrai. That is a bet that Dan was encouraging you guys to make, and he is saying you put 5 to win 525. So let's see what happens here. Oh, there is an exhausted hug. I feel the exact same way, bro. Oh no! He's climbed out of the cage. And who is he talking to now? Is he talking to one of the reporters? Did he? I don't know exactly what that transpired there. He went over to press row. It looked like he found a camera. I'm actually rewinding. I don't tend to do that a ton on this thing, but I want to see what the fuck he was doing. All right, so the replay shows here. He jumps over the cage, not uncommon. Okay. Oh, that's what he said. He wants to fight next weekend. Got it. Okay. Well, that's a crazy person right there, kids. So it says Casey Kenny leaves the cage and tells UFC officials that what he said when he spoke with MMA Fighting, I want to be back there next weekend. Yeah, we see a lot of crazy ass shit on this thing. Sometimes you have to leave it all out there, kids. I guess closed mouths don't get fed. So Kenny is well trained. Well, not in post-fight antics. Let's say that much. And according to Woods, double deed, yes. And he's talking to the matchmaker saying he wants to fight on the next card. Well, thank you for that. Also, you know what you can do that? You can do that backstage. I think Hardy's going to give him a little bit of mess. Kenny says the whole game plan was to stay away from his right hand. And said he was going for the finish the entire time the fight was going on. And he wasn't sure if he was going to go down on one of those body kicks, but he ate a number of them. Says he is tough as nails. He says he was also ready to grapple at any given time. Ooh, I did not see when he lost the mouthpiece. I knew he did lose it, but oof. Mark Ramondi put up a very important quotation. I think this is important to note. It says, get out of here with that 30-27. You can't find a 10-8 in that beating. Let's retweet that one immediately. Got it. He said he felt like he needed to jump over the cage and tell somebody that he wants to fight next week. I don't think this dude scares me as much as he just kind of confuses me in a way that I am quite amused by, though, if I'm not going to lie. Looks like another one of them Iridium boys, and it says Kenny fight is the only fight I was sure of tonight, and that is from Joffrey. That makes sense. Tonight, Dan has gone over his betting procedures. He mentioned that there is a lot of uncertainty. I do not disagree with him on any part of that. I can also probably take this earpiece out now I think about it. All right. Well, anyway, here's some good time to do some branding. My name is Rafa Sparza. I host a show called The Grappling Hour. I also host a show called Verbal Tap. Those are two shows that you probably know. It would mean so much to me if you guys would go over to any of our shows. So we're talking, I'm going to put the first one up here, and this is at Grappling Hour. Now, I put this up here. It's a great way to remind you guys. We are on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Periscope at Grappling Hour on all of those properties. Would love it if you guys give us some support. If you don't, you know, it's not going to kill me. But if you go to our Apple Spotify lists that we got for podcasts and you want to give us a 5-star review, also would be really cool. I will give you a shout out on our show if you give us a 5-star review. It is that easy, kids. I look for excuses to say nice things about you guys. I would love it. We have a lot of episodes, including our interview with Tony Ramos, who, you know, predictably got heel hooked by one Nikki Ryan. So, yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. And I wanted him to do better. He's a wonderfully nice guy. But you can find out more about his fight spirit and his commitment to grappling. And it does look like he is actually going to take John Danaher up on an opportunity to go train with the boys out in New York. I think that is commendable of Danaher to go ahead and put that out his way. Now, let's say you like other stuff that we do. Well, that's a good time to remind you guys, if you like what we do on Verbal Tap, guess what? We have a show for that too. And that is at Verbal Tap Cast. You can find us on all of those same platforms. YouTube, Twitch. No, we're not on Twitch. I take that back. YouTube, Facebook, Periscope. Yeah, we got some stuff on there. And Twitter, Instagram. Those are the big ones for that. But it would also mean a lot to us if you give us a 5-star review on our Apple Podcasts for Verbal Tap, as well as follow us on our Spotify. I think that's a good time to remind you guys. So I'm done doing that. I'll only do that probably 5 more times tonight. It's a long night. I have time to fill, as we're now waiting. However, that was a longer fight than usual. So anyway, I also wanted to say thank you guys, because we've done our totals. We've looked up our numbers. We've done our due diligence. And yes, we can proudly say that our show has had more than 250,000 views in our short 2 years on air. Normally, it doesn't mean a lot to you guys, but it means a lot to me because I do this. So I always appreciate when you show love, when you send comments, when you're friends on the show. All those things, they build up. They give us a great sort of feel. So on behalf of myself, everybody who's broadcasted, everybody who's come on our show, we just thank you. It's a super nice feeling to know that in 2 years we have accomplished more than any other independent media source in grappling. So that's pretty good. And especially the fact that we do it with no matches. I want you to think about that. The biggest resource in independent media, or most places that you call a broadcaster or a supplier of jiu-jitsu things, comes from matches. So the fact that you guys have come and tuned in to watch me do interviews, and that's it. That's the whole thing I've got. I don't have flashy highlight reels. I don't have flashy matches, but to me, it really does mean the world. So thank you. Thank you. A million times thank you. And if I only mention that I'm going to say a broadcast reminder only 5 more times this evening, I'm probably going to say it's like 10 more times tonight, because I just feel like bringing it up. Thank you, Joffrey. I appreciate that, sir. We have a long night here, so I'm getting ready to go broadcast live on the Facebook as well. I'm sorry, the Instagram. But before I do, I'm actually purifying my sound, adding a little bit of extra heat on that one, and I'm lapelling up for that. That's right. We can sometimes be professional on this show. So anyway, throw your questions at me while we've got a few minutes. We're about to go to the fray. Look on me? That's going to be a hard one to say multiple times. But this match. Yep, that's right. Throw your questions at me. We're going to take a few moments to go and kind of look through them. We're also going to put up the branding so that way if people are looking at this in the future, they know exactly where to line up along with us. So, bam. Although, Joffrey, I would like to keep up your congratulations comment to me. That's super nice. I have no issue with congratulating myself. All right, everybody. We're about to go live on the Facebook. No, I'm sorry, on the Instagram. Sometimes they all run in one and the same to me. All right, so they will be back with the Loma and Jin Yufrai match coming up after the break. So we have a little bit of time to take notes, observations, hints, concerns. I don't know if you guys saw all of the Who's Number One yesterday. I did see the results of it. Sorry, I was watching the Laker games. Way more important to me. But Gordon Ryan also got a win over Mateus. Drew, my good friend, was telling me earlier today, it was like, bro, how bad was that beating? I was like, oh, it wasn't great. I like that. Oh, my God. Okay, so we've had some issue. This hair, it's doing its own thing now. And I swear to God, when I'm under the lights too, it just starts doing the Superman curl where it'll come down. And yes, according to Woods, Raph rocking that Hector Camacho curl like a soldier. I can tell you this much. My boxing family is very much going to appreciate that comment. They will also say I do not have hands like him. So I think that's important to note. But I appreciate the upvote of confidence on that. That's about the most ridiculous thing I've seen tonight thus far in. But I appreciate it. Thank you, Woods. In case you missed out last week, we had our good friend, according to Woods, aka Adam Woods, joining us on the show, as well as Kevin Bradley of the Jiu-Jitsu Time. We had a great conversation. Those guys are awesome. So I had a lot of fun chatting with them. All right. So while we've got some time, I'm about to go, like I said, live on Instagram, not the Facebook, because that is what a dumb person will say. And we're going to go live on there. We're going to take questions, and we're going to keep this party rocking. We got about, 10 more fights to do this evening? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wait. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 fights. That's pretty manageable. I think we'll be able to get through this evening fairly easily. So sit back, relax. Night 1 of 2 fight companions here, friends. So I hope you're not planning to go too far away. We have a lot to get through. Still a lot of fights. And again, tonight's fight card for the prelims is headlined by Carlos Condit. How can you not get excited for that? All right, here we go. Going live in just a few seconds here. And it says, when you start a live video, if your questions will show up here. Okay. So I'm actually going to put a question to everybody on my live story. So we're going to create a question. This is how you guys get to see how the sausage is made. Look at this. What are you most excited for tonight? That's the way to do it. All right, here we go. What fight are, oh, dude, they're already out there. Oh, hold on. I got to take off that good joke. Sorry. most excited about tonight? That's right, Dane Donovan. I want to say that just like one Donald Cerrone voice, as done by the only Greg Jackson, who likes to say, "Go get some, Donald Cerrone." Fight Island 4. It says, "Great show with Woods, Raph. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Adam's a good kid. I like him." It is always a much easier world when you get along with the other hosts, because at some point you're going to run into each other. And I've seen other hosts, I'm not saying me, I've seen other hosts not get along. So it means a lot to me when others of us, we all have a certain camaraderie about ourselves. All right, here we go. First few seconds are in. I am putting up the question, and that means we can now go live on the Facebook. Why do I keep saying Facebook? It's Instagram. It's the same thing. Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Raph Esparza. We're doing some live coverage here tonight. We are on all of our main channels at the Grappling Hour, and we're also on our main broadcast here over on Verbal Tap. So grab a beer, join along. We have some cheers to do. We will make up on some of those. We also have to cheers our friends who have been very nice tonight. Jesus, Adam, you're going for 3 in a row. I don't know that I can cheers you 3 times. We'll figure that out as we go along. So don't go anywhere. We're right in the beginning of the Frey Look Bon Me fight. Look Bon Me is in the blue trunks while Frey is in the red trunks. Now, again, this is a fight that earlier in the evening, Dan Hubler was saying to take the action on that one. What is up? Paul Lenore, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. We're watching along with the UFC telecast right now. Dark Matter BJJ, thank you. Appreciate you coming to watch along with us. It's UFC Fight Island 4. We got a lot of fights to watch. We got a lot of things to do. And yeah, we're already getting this one heavy underway. And you are seeing, what is up, Get Red Circle. Is that our fam? Is that our Red Circle fam? That is where you can find our podcasts, as hosted by Red Circle. Hopefully that's them. I'd love it if they're watching us. Look at that. Get Red Circle. Appreciate you. Love being on the Red Circle family. There's a lot of very good podcasts on there. So appreciate you all being very nice. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Nice uppercut by one Look Bon Me. And a nice return by Frey, who comes swatting over with a hook of her own. She starts to stalk her down. Trying to figure out the angles over here. Look Bon Me gets a kick in. Connects on the leg. Nothing too impactful there. I'm going to remind you guys, if you give us a like and a share on Facebook, we will give you a toast on air, just like we do the fighters who get finishes within regulations. We're talking submissions or knockouts. Those get toasts from myself. Also, to you guys who are watching, if you give us a subscription on YouTube, we also give you a toast. And right now, we're at a place where Adam Woods has given us 3 shares. I count on Twitter, I count on Facebook, and I also count one now on, what's the other one? Well, maybe it's just those 2. All right, I'll get to that later. But he was very nice to tag us in that. He might have actually just tagged a photo. I cannot see because I am currently on air. So I will get to that in a second. I'll look to see what you were up to there, Woods. You might be tagging me on the photo. Good. Yes, Woods. I like that I managed to repulse both Raph Esparza and Dan Hubler with my country music line dancing comment. Yes, of course. I just like the fact that Dan was like, I don't even want to dignify that with a response. That's why bringing on Dan is always an apt and funny thing. It says, you're going to be thoroughly sloshed after my toast. Well, you get 2 toasts because now I saw what the comment is. So that's the one. It says, Woods is the real MVP. Absolutely. Anyway, kids, 121 left to go, and the significant strikes are definitely a Look Bon Me, who is ahead 23-4 on that one. TJ Kelly, what is this all about? Won't be able to watch this one with you tonight, brother, but I wanted to say I appreciate the show. You keep being you. I will. It's all I know how to do. I'm not going to be anybody else. I'm me. I like me. I'm great. TJ, I appreciate that, man. Hopefully you'll be able to come over and watch tomorrow's Submission Underground along with us. We'll have our panel back up. Oof. Look, Bon Mi was being nasty with those elbows over on that edge of the cage. Gets out of it. Frey swats her way to just get a little distance. And with the last 40 seconds, this is a very, very good round for Look Bon Mi. Well, anyway, TJ, like I mentioned, come back tomorrow, bro. We'd love to have you watching along. Submission Underground headlined by one Vinny Magalesh and Mason Fowler, which actually I think should be a fun match. Mason, he's on a good run, but Vinny's very hard to submit and sometimes doesn't tap at things that really, really hurt bad, as we've seen. So that's the big note that we got. What is this, Justin? Look at you showing up, giving some support to your friend Rafa Esparza. Much appreciated to you, bro. We see you tomorrow on Submission Underground, don't we? I just thought of that right now. Uh-oh. Don't talk shit about Justin then. Or if you are going to talk shit about Justin, do it under the guise you are drunk. On the plane now. Yeah, boy. That's what's up, dude. I thought I saw you putting on the little lampshade on the eyes, getting ready to be there, bro. You're kicking off the show. Yes, you are, sir. That is going to be a fun match, dude. Very much looking forward to roasting you tomorrow. But everybody else, too. But, like, mostly you, because you're here now. And you kind of know my personality. Sometimes we roast people who don't know me. And that's, it's been hit or miss. I would say a lot more hit than miss, but every once in a while, you get someone who's not a fan. I've had people in the past tell me, they're like, yeah, I've seen your jokes. I was like, okay, I've seen your takedowns. Sometimes they don't work. That's all. Deal with it. Fuck off. Or enjoy it for what it is. It says, Heather Standing is putting on another great card on Sug tomorrow. Check it out, folks. I mean, listen, dude. It sounds like you're the robot that is designed to be a promotional robot that speaks in a human voice on our show. Yes, she is putting on a great card. It just looks like I have to say there's promotional advertisements going on my show with that. Which, by the way, speaking of which, go support our friends over at Nogi BJJ Gear. And if you use the promotional code GRAPPLINGHOUR15, you take 15% off of whatever you put in the card. Haha. I've seen your takedowns. Yeah, that's true, man. I've said a lot funnier things to a lot different fighters. And a lot of the times, they're pretty good sports about it. So I've been very, very lucky over my many years of coverage, which Verbal Tap is about to come up on 8 years of doing this, man. So I'm super stoked. You guys have been very kind to us over the years. But we're just about to commemorate, 2 years of Grappling Hour, which is super cool, to start year 3. Ooh, Look Bon Mi wants to finish this fight real quick. And Frey is putting up at least enough resistance here, but I don't know how many of these knees she can take with this clinch up against the cage. This is bad news bears, dude. Ooh, she comes in with a nice hook to break it up again. That has been her key weapon to try and get some distance here whenever she needs a few minutes to kind of collect herself. Now she has her hands back up. Look Bon Mi is very much stalking her down, trying to see where she wants to get her openings here. So far, so good on this match. Very pleased with how it was going. Just to let you guys know, yes, there are, I believe, 8 more fights after this one. Something to that region. But we are very much appreciating you guys for watching along with us. I also asked you guys what fight you were most excited about on the Verbal Tap page. I will do my best to try and implement those answers on this broadcast. And if you're watching along with us, feel free to shoot me some comments. I'm more than happy to field your guys' questions or to give you the play-by-play that you need, because some of you might be on a plane. Some of you, you might need some friendly notes or help or comments. Maybe you need some advice about your life. I'm not qualified to do that, but I'm more than happy to go ahead and give you some. Here we go. 2:26 left to go. Blue corner of one. Look Bon Mi. Still just, I'm not even blue corner, blue trunks. My apologies. She has the red tape on her hands. I also just found this out, and I didn't know this. Maybe you guys can tell me something differently. What do you know about the superstition of wrapping your right hand first when you are putting on boxing gloves? I was just told this today. I've never heard that. And again, I've also never fought. So I would love to hear if you guys have heard that as a thing. But they're like, oh, yeah, it's a real thing you have to do. And I go, okay. That sounds weird. And they go, well, it's kind of like a superstition. I was like, when you define it like that, it is a superstition. If there's not an actual logical reason, it is 100% superstition. It's not kind of like a superstition. It is. But I would be curious. If you guys know more than I do, chime away. Tell me. I'm happy it was. This Poppy and G.A. Bollinger. Good to see you back. Watching UFC Fight Island 4. And we are watching it. Look on me. Put on a pretty good striking clinic against one Frey. And this is Frey who... Dan Hubler, swing and a miss. Man, not only does she go for a high kick, but then she falls real bad here. Yeah, I mean, listen, dude. Dan has been on a solid run. Tonight might be a rough night. We'll have to see how the rest of the card plays out, but that is definitely one that I'm a little nervous about here, kids. Let's see when we go to this third round, because it does look like we are going to be doing that. Let's look at this question. It says, if I'm not watching the fights, you're always my go-to, Raph. Love you, brother. Wormwood gang. Man, this is so great. These are lifelong friends. These are guys who I grew up with on my neighborhood when I was a kid, still supporting me, showing up to give some love. That's how you know we got good people here. Thank you so much, Adam. These are the guys who, when we were kids, they would play basketball. I would watch because I would not be good at it. These are the guys who told me the best jokes. We all told stories when we were kids. I just love the fact that you get to see each other now. And you know what, man? It's probably a good thing that mixed martial arts wasn't really a thing when we were growing up. Because, those kids would grapple. They'd get down, man. But we were all more pro wrestling, replicating and horsing around and doing that. And those guys were durable AF. So I could only imagine if they had introduced striking a little bit more to us as kids. And probably worse for the wear in my face if that were the case. But we're talking like brothers who go so far back with me. Love that, man. That's how you know. Like, people talk about how social media sucks, and it does a lot of the times. But stuff like that makes it feel good. So I appreciate you, Adam. Give your best to my family. You know that, fam. Oof. But I would tell you this, Adam. If you find your way back on up over to the valley, once Corona gets its thing, and you want to come train, you want to do some grappling, come on up, bud. I'd be more than happy to get some rounds in with you and teach you some stuff that I know now. Couldn't have taught you that when I was a kid. Did not know any of those things. Have a lot of my friends who I grew up with who are like, you can fight now? And I was like, fight's relative. I can teach you things, but I'm not going to bars and trying to massacre people here, kids. I just know how to do a fairly decent amount of things. All right, third and final round. And hey, Frey's acting with some urgency, trying to get a takedown here, and she does succeed at it. Lands a takedown directly in Look Bon Me's mount, who is slowly opening up her guard. So that's pretty impressive. And it says, was Adam the type of friend to chip in 5 for SummerSlam back in 1996? Well, you honor me with those years. Nah, man, I just remembered one day Adam was, I think, about to pile drive his brother. And, the hard part about being me when I was young is I was known as the responsible one. So I would always think, like, if he pile drives his bro on that grass and it breaks bad, they're going to blame me. No, man, I mean, they would mess around. They do, like, the elbow drops and shit like that. So we were just fun, man. You know what it was? It's like you had friends. I really wish kids could understand this, and maybe they do to certain extents. But like people that you would see every day, you go out, play some basketball, play some Foursquare, play something active, and it always kept us out of trouble. So for me, when I saw that they would be home, I'd look around and I'd be like, oh, dude, I'm so stoked. We get to go hang out and play. So that's really good. Adam, you say, I hope you can take me up on that. Absolutely, man. Sometimes I make my way down to, all around the place. I mean, being a host, we tend to find people all over the place. So there's nothing better like sharing, the great martial arts and the sport that we learn with friends. I've had a few of the guys who I grew up with who are very surprised that I know grappling or no grappling. But, like a couple of the guys who think that I'm just going to like totally beat them up, now. And I'm like, I'm not, I'm over that, dude. I'm not here to beat you up. That's not how this works. I mean, yeah, granted, I did submit you 20 times, but that's just, that's just fair. Okay. So don't complain about it. Now, I brought one of my homies who I grew up with, and he's one of the best athletes I knew. And I took him to a grappling class, and you could see that he almost didn't want to tap when I had him in an armbar. And I was like, bro, I don't want to break your arm. Like, just, And it says, ask the wife first before you start making plans, bro. Yeah, I mean, obviously. I'll tell you this much, though. I very much get the benefit of having people who kind of know what I do. And so having a wife that knows I'm the friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster is a huge help because she knows. She's like, are you training? Where are you training at? And I go, I train with this guy. He's all right. Or I train with this guy. She's like, is he a dick? Yeah. Last 2 minutes of this fight. Frey looked a little bit more alive here. She had the back at one point. She couldn't quite sink in a body triangle around to go ahead and secure it more. So now they're returning back to the feet, and they seem to be trying to push each other around. This is Look Bon Me's fight to lose here, so you may see her just try to do just enough to kind of dance around the cage and make sure that she's not overcommitting to anything crazy. These are the last 90 seconds of this fight. So there is that we got going on right now. I mean, if I really want to make a compliment here, Look Bon Me's kicks have been massive in the later part of the rounds. She began with some really good punches here. The accuracy's gone down ever so slightly, but why not, man? If you're ahead, ooh, the knees. That's the read that Frey needed way earlier in this fight. She went in to try and get a takedown, goes for a double leg, doesn't get anything back on that side. So looks like we may be watching her use the cage with the last 46 seconds. Now, this is not going to do much for her because she essentially has a lot of ground to go ahead and make up for. So if she is going to make any impression on this fight, it's got to be done in, devastatingly knockout or submission fashion. And the submission was probably where she was more at. That was a nice cross, though. I will give her that. Frey does not look like she's going to make a return on Dan's investment here tonight. So let's talk about what that investment was. Well, it was 5 to win, 525. So that unfortunately is going to take us down another $5. It says Frey's corner is screaming at her to do something, to get something going and change. Look Bon Me eats a left hand before clinching up, and Faye pushes Loma up against the face, and they eventually separate. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a rough one for one Dan Hubler. But hey, listen, we're still net positive on our bets. So let's be very appreciative of the greatness of our friend here. Anyway, kids, throw your questions at me. What do you got going on? I clearly am most excited, I think, tonight for Carlos Condit. I will entertain what you're most interested by, but I'm not going to tell you it is for sure going to line up. What's up, Armando? Thank you so much for joining us. We're watching UFC Fight Island 4. If you're not, I'll narrate for you. And if you are, that makes me feel great. Tomorrow, the NBA Finals, we continue watching the Lakers. Hopefully just get it done in 4. Listen, I don't have time for more games. I got time for 4. Give me 4 wins. Let's all go home. Let's do it for Kobe. And let's just tell people, hey, that's just what happened, and we all feel good. I like when people tell me, they're like, man, I really needed this prop bet to happen if the Lakers wouldn't have beat the Nuggets. And I was like, that's not my concern. That means nothing to me. Every time they scored, and it was by 20 or less, I would yell out like Adam Driver as Kylo Ren yelling out more. And that was, my approach to it. So I might be a little spoiled, but hey, listen, it's been like 10 years since we've been in a finals. That's such a sad thing to tell people who've never had a championship before. It's like, we really need this win, LA, guys. Come on. All right, Loma is going over to talk with Hardy, and they are going to do some translations, which is going to afford me some time and maybe a second here to go ahead and catch up on my cheerses, which, by the way, my apologies for not doing earlier. But, we got stuff going on here, kids. So Loma was saying before the fight she expected her to be a very good fighter, and yep, she was. Oh, very nice. Oh, that's actually a really sweet thing. She said, thank you to everybody who supports her because she's just a small woman from Thailand. And there was a big smile after that. So they asked her, what would you like next? And I think she's responding with, she expected to wrestle. That's not exactly the right 1-2 combination for that information. What is up, Weston Lord? That's a name. What does that stand for? We are watching UFC Fight Island. Yes, Carlos Condit does need the win. How do I address this? I'm concerned for Condit, just period. He's one of my favorite people in the world. So hopefully he gets a big win here tonight. And, maybe we can start talking about retirement and, doing some stuff out there. Like that you said, howdy. You actually spelled it the way I would prefer people to spell it. How do I? Side note, Raph, did you watch Michael Jordan's The Last Dance documentary on Netflix? What a great basketball player. Simply the GOAT. I did. And not only did I watch it, but I was watching it when it was airing on ESPN Live every Sunday. Now, my wife wasn't here for the very first episode. And I started watching it because I thought, she doesn't really like watching too much sports, like the NBA finals are on. Now she's watching the games, but I didn't subject her to the playoffs because I was like, listen, you don't need to be here for these other games. It really doesn't matter until they beat somebody to win a title. I put on one episode of The Last Dance. Watch it. She comes home. She looks at me and she goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, why would you watch The Last Dance without me? And I go, because you don't care about most things basketball. And she's like, I lived in Illinois growing up with championships from Michael Jordan. Rewind it, start it over. And so I did. Not gonna hate on that. That's an excellent documentary. I wish we in grappling had something that compelling. The closest person that we have right now is obviously Gordon. So I got news for you. The Gordon documentary is nowhere close to being that interesting. So, until that happens, we're just going to be biding our time here as a little teeny tiny sport. But we have very, very, very lovable fans who do this. Let me see here. I'm just going to know. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, good to know. All right, here, kids. But yes, I did see Last Dance. Excellent documentary. Won the Emmy. Absolutely deserved it. No questions here. So that's what I got for you guys going on right now. We're going to move to our next fight momentarily. It does look like they're stalling to give some love to Holly Holm, who deserves our respect. I will say that. She definitely does deserve our respect. It'll be interesting to see what role she plays in the division going forward. But we got the Jordan Williams and Nasruddin Imavov match coming in right now, which I believe was the other part of Dan's bet here tonight. So let's go ahead and review what Dan was kind of instructing people to do here. So the first one was a Yari, which didn't pay off for Dan. I'll say it. Second one was Jin Yufrai. Not great. So between those two, that's $14 down. No big deal. But these last two, Nasruddin Imavov is a bet 5 to win for 35. And then he said there's a prop bet. He was like, now Imavov by KO, TKO, or DQ also is going to net you a potential $3 if you put $1 down. Now, obviously, some of you bet and fluctuate around those numbers, but I think he makes a compelling case here. So yes, the first two didn't pay out on this week, but historically, Dan has not done you too harmful just yet. When we come back from the break, which is something they say, because I don't get a break, Jordan Williams about to make his way out to the octagon in just a few seconds. He is 9-3 with one no contest. It's an impressive record here from the kid. So that was Dan's outline for the bets this evening. I'm intrigued to know who you guys have in this bout. So I'm going to make a little questionnaire for the kids to see who you guys got. Well, bam. In the comment section, I'm going to go ahead and put this out here. This is going to both our Facebook. Yeah, we'll just do it on our Facebook. Who you got? I can't ever tell now with these fights if they do them on a delay. Because sometimes they show them walking out right before the commercial break. And then they're still walking out afterwards. And I go, I can't tell if they're going back on that. So anyway, who you got? Loma. Nope, that's not the right fight, ref. Jordan Williams or Nasruddin Imavov. Wabam. Or question mark. All right, that's my question for you, kids. Going out on all the platforms. Make sure that you give us one. It says, whoops, Periscope didn't get your comment. It was probably filtered. Periscope filters anything that looks like spam. Well, fuck you, Periscope. I'm just trying to get people to say who the fuck they think is going to win. Well, you know what? Here, Periscope people, if I put this on here, haha, I have asked the question to everybody here now. And it's got a nice little ring to it. Look at that. Smart. Genius level. All right. Take that off the list. Would love to hear who you guys got. Tell me in the comment section. We're going to give this a couple shares. Let's do first our toast, our first of which to one Adam Woods. This toast goes out to Adam Woods, who is a wonderful fight companion. I don't know, you can say that sort of word. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Adam Woods, you did a great job last week, bro. So proud of you making your Grappling Hour Fight Companion debut. Had a blast talking with you. I think that you get to show a different side of yourself as a host here. So I very much appreciate you, your share, and also your time last week, bud. Cheers to you, bud. How do you get a toast like that? I don't say nice things about people. Ask my friends. Simple. You give us a like and a share on Facebook, and then guess what? I magically say nice things about you. Just saying. We, it's not like you can't buy our love here. The nicest way of putting it. Got a like from John Woods. Thank you very much. And a like from Justin. You guys are awesome. Would love it if you give us a share, and then I can say even better things about Shaw. Yes, we did talk a little bit about yesterday's Tony Ramos, Gordon Ryan matches. We also talked about, apparently, there's a hot fire match between Cody Steele and I think, was it Tama? I'm going to have to go. No, it wasn't Tama. It was somebody else. Dante Leon. I think that was the match between Cody Steele and Dante Leon. Heard that was amazing. So want to give respect and do props to those folks. And Gio ended up winning over one of the Meow brothers. I don't know which is which. I'm not going to tell you anymore. Let's say it's Paulo. If it's not, for me, one and the same, those kids. But yes, that is what we had go down yesterday. Join us. I'm going to put up the branding right now for, let's call it, what is this? UFC Fight Island 4. Bam. And I will tell you guys what was interesting, I guess, about the matchups yesterday is they did it. It looked like it was done in some ballroom hotel, which I think has to be very confusing to people. The mats were not elevated. It was just kind of on the ground somewhere. I know we all have to do things going with COVID, so it was just a little strange to see the setup for it. But, they put on an event. It's very difficult to put on events as we're doing things right now. So I would encourage you, though, to go check out the Cody Steele and Dante Leon match. Oh, talk about Jesus Christ. William Tackett, dude, looked phenomenal against Jason Rao. Just monstrous. I believe he got a Kimura finish yesterday. It's kind of like that triangle Kimura, just pain. That dude had like 3 different transitions off of that grip that I was just super, super impressed with. Look at that. It says the BJJ-esque says great shirt. Thank you very much. I noticed you got very similar ones too. So we give props to our resident betting man, which is one, Dan Hubler. So very much appreciate that guy for coming through. Look at that. TBJ just joined. I love that. I like when it says you joined. But yeah, Dan Hubler, he's good people. And those of you who are just tuning in right now, yes, we are obviously watching UFC Fight Island 4. There's way more fights to go through this evening. I'll walk you through it. Right now is going to be Jordan Williams and Nasruddin Imavov heading us up. Then we've got Charles Jourdain versus Josh Kubau, which is not properly said, just to let you know. Then at top of the prelims, Carlos Condit, Court McGee. Then we go to the main card, which is going to be a very tidy 5 fights. So, we've still got some show here to do here, kids. And again, a like and a share gets it. Don't put that on me, G-Baby. I'm not in that mood right now. First of all, I don't want you to cry. Second of all, when you say Condit better win or I'll cry, it makes me think, are you not prepared for that as a scenario? So one of the hardest things about being a fight fan is it is usually, statistically, a 50-50 proposition. So if you are not prepared for the 50% that is bad, you have to find a way to do it because we are here and it is far too emotion-filled to not have that as a backup plan. So I don't know if you need to have tissues near you. I don't need to know if you have like a comfort animal that you can grab, maybe a comfort stuffed animal that you can grab. As we go and take a look at the matches right now, Jordan Williams and Nasruddin Imavov are in the cage. Yeah, it's 2 of them. Learn to plural your words here, Raph. So anyway, let's do a quick cheers to Dane Donovan. Let me see. I just want my friends to succeed. Don't. God. I know you do. I don't want you to be sad if he does lose. So let's talk it out. This is a healthy therapy session. I'm not licensed, so don't think that this is something that is going to fix you. But having said that, I am a friend. I am listening to you. I am hearing you out, and I have concerns. Concern number 1. He might lose. And if he does, we all have to figure out what we're going to do. Number 2, Jordan Williams is fighting tonight. And if memory serves me right, wasn't he just recently on the Dana White Contender Series? Let's find out together here, kids. Anyway, yes, Dane Donovan just realized that G-Baby is in the building. We've turned G-Baby into a little bit of a popular person here on the show. It says Purple Leaf Acai. Thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying your day. We're watching UFC Fight Island 4. We're right at the top of the Jordan Williams. Yep, that's right. He's an outside linebacker who was a free agent. That was just a little bit ago, but now he fights in a cage because that's fun. And let me just say he's out of Santa Rosa, California. Starting things off, I have 4 minutes and 30 seconds on my clock right now. He's originally from Wisconsin, which is interesting to see. Yes, his last win was back in September at the Contender Series, which is why it's very interesting to see him on here. He's also, within the past year, he had 2 canceled bouts against Kyle Stewart and KB Bhullar. And those were right at the start of COVID. So there was the 3/14 date and the 3/20 date. Both of those canceled because for a split second, it looked like Williams kind of dropped Imavov. Now he's coming in with some elbows, but he gets taken down. Imavov wants no part of that. Dan did say with a name with 2 Vs, you were guaranteed at least 2 takedowns. That's 1 takedown. And now they're right back up against the cage. Let us say hello also to Ryan Scaloya. That's not right. I know that for sure. Ryan, thank you for joining. We hope that you are here and enjoying your time. Hey, what's up, Gabe? Look at you. Appreciate you, bro. Look at that. You guys are all just loving each other in the comment section. Appreciate you, Dane Donovan. Jordan was the diabetic middleweight with the upset win. Yep, now I remembered. The hard part is sometimes when you see all these things, you go, didn't I just see this guy on ESPN like literally a month ago? The answer is yes, and not just even a month ago. We're talking 3 weeks now ago. Somewhere in that region. Sorry, October snuck up on us. We're almost done with 2020, right? Yeah, I didn't reach out to that one. I thought I was supposed to reach out to this kid to get an interview. Well, he's on my list now, so what are you going to do? G-Baby, you gave us a share. We'll take care of you in a moment. You know that. I have to do another one for Adam in a second. Actually, I don't even know that I finished Dane Donovan's. Let's go back to Dane for a second while we have a few moments as we see one Jordan Williams pushing him up against the cage over here. Yeah, I did remember liking Jordan a lot. All right, Dane, here's your cheers. Dane Donovan shares a name. Oh, hold on. I'm going to put a stop to this real quick, Dane. Here's why. I'm now just seeing Williams's face, and it is bleeding at the top. And there's a little bit that concerns me about the way his hands are dropping, but it's less that the hands are dropping. Just look at his head. If you see the way his head bounces around without even getting hit on some of these strikes, it's that's not great. Okay. Oh, nope. Hit to the midsection. That's no great. Dane, I'm going to get to you in a second here. I'm not at the cheers yet. And it's mostly, I got some time. You got hit in the dick. So that gives us some time to do this. Dane Donovan. Did you know that our founding fathers wrote a constitution years ago? But did you also know that Dane Donovan has done a renovation of the Constitution of the United States? And he has written it out in blood. Now, granted, he passed out after doing it, and it was very concerning to a lot of us here. His wife, his friends, his family, but you know what? That's how much he loves his country. Don't ever not call that man a patriot, because you know what? You're not the patriot. Cheers to you, Dane Donovan. Also, please get your blood checked, because I think that's something we all learned. Don't do that again. It says Dane Donovan is being a tremendous human being. He is not a tremendous human being right now. Is, I guess, Imavov? Let's see what happened here. Okay. He does curve the knee in an unpleasant area, so I will give that to him. That's not great. Oh, Jordan Williams was some flashy ass shit. He basically spun with kind of like a spinning jab. Let's call it a spinning cross. Yeah, sure. Spins backward, connects with the chin of Imavov. It doesn't really drop him as much as just kind of staggers him ever so slightly. He's trying to throw down some elbows. None of these look super great, but all things considered, it is becoming problematic. Imavov is trying to get the best leverage in the world to try and pull him down, almost akin to like, he looks like he's trying to lift up a couch when he's helping you move from your house. That's how very quickly the 2 takedowns. All right. That's a Dan Huber promise. You did get that for sure. Even if, reversal of fortune here. Now Williams is going to be the one pressing Imavov up against the cage. This is only the first round here. Remember, kids? Now the question is Williams going to be able to secure a takedown or utilize this particular element to get Imavov off his game? The answer is no. Imavov might be in on a choke here. Does look like Williams is just getting out of it. Imavov switches it over. Oh, it does look like Williams might have to tap here. Oh, just kidding. No, he doesn't. He gets a single leg. For a split second, his face did not give me the confidence to believe he would look good in that particular area. That is my bad. Instead, Imavov reads an opportunity to try and attack the neck here, but he's going to run out of time. Gets in a nice, weird little punch there. And we go to a second round in just a few minutes as Justin Williams looks up at the monitor, clearly seeming to signal, well, that didn't feel great. So there is that. All right, let's look a little bit over the wins here. Now, this is an interesting thing. Jordan Williams has been fighting since back in 2010. So, yeah, he's been fighting for about 10 years now. And you'll notice he was very active in his amateur days all the way up till 2013. And then it kind of looks a little spotty off and on. But, yeah, he's been pretty there. So, yeah, he took a break from 2010 to 2013. It was a little bit slower pace in terms of an output. But dude has been fighting for a good amount of time. Has some wins that are mixed over on this side. He does have, let's see here, pro wins. 1 win by submission, 1 by decision, and then 7 by knockout. So it is understandable that he would get that stagger from Imavov in that last round. Meanwhile, Imavov, let's talk about his record real quick. Imavov comes in with only 2 losses, 8 wins. Now, he also has 4 submission wins, which is why I'm so concerned about where his neck is. So every time I see Williams' neck in a compromised position, I am willing to give Imavov the benefit of the doubt in terms of how he looks in here. Now he's starting to pressure Jordan a little bit back up again. There's 435 on my clock count. Don't know where you guys are. And I would say don't care, but I do. So you're probably going to see Imavov really try to get back to that comfort level. I think he feels a little more confident on the stand-up here, but I think he's felt pretty good in those positions in Turtle. If he can get him there, that could be really detrimental for Williams. Like I mentioned here, I didn't love the exact first few moments of this fight for Jordan Williams, but he is proving to be quite a fighter, man. He is staying in there. He's got a lot of heart, pressuring up a little bit more. Imavov almost looking like he's trying to lure him in, gets a beautiful cross on that backup there, finds the cross again. Very nice. Good work on him. He's got a loaded up right hand that he seems to be favoring here. Jordan has enough of that, pushes him up against the cage to try and dilute part of it. Now, I was talking a little bit about the grappling game, and I do wonder, it almost looks like Jordan is kind of putting some of the blood on him to kind of make it a little bit, not only slippery, but just try to make him feel a little bit out of his comfort level. These are tactics not too dissimilar from the movie Predator. He's still trying to get a single leg, but he has to give that up now. Loses all there. Has an underhook, but not much to do with it. And Imavov gets a nice pop. Good little hook there from inside. So the two of them are going to exchange here as you do see Williams pushing him up against the cage. Now, here's the difficult part. You're not seeing too much crazy shit here. I believe the referee told him he better work. And now Jordan covered up for a split second. Now these guys are super unloading. Ooh, Imavov goes for another takedown. Is still trying, gets the back for a half second here. Williams is just trying to get his balance back. Nothing too crazy there, kids. And instead, he's going to prop him up against the cage and is getting some very significant strikes here. Oh, to the point where Jordan isn't able to connect out of it. Tries to punch his way just to get some semi-balance of cohesion there. Does not get anything to it. Now, as he's swinging wildly, it's really, I think, depleting his energy. He might be on part of his last legs here. He is in Turtle, and you are going to see Imavov probably start to work a submission game here. Now, he's trying to attack the neck. Jordan has been resourceful thus far in, despite my inklings to believe he has been in trouble. I would see a number of people have a lot of time here. It might be a little bit of almost of a Japanese necktie that he has as a possibility, but instead he just manages to sift off the choke. Now for his troubles, he may have another issue on his hand as Imavov is being relentless on this beautiful choke here. He's got him inside, and the referee's going over to check on him. He is moving, but I don't know exactly to the extent that it's going to make anybody feel okay. Yes, tries to flattens himself out. He tries to get out of it. He's trying to get to his knees. He gives up his back, and this may be an issue as he tried to sprawl back out. Just not working very well for himself here. 1 minute left to go, and you do see Imavov pop in a little bit of a strike to the face, and Williams is having a hard time blocking some of these punches. He's trying to offset the hands. No, not looking good. Now, I mean, he's trying to hit him from underneath. I think Imavov might be a little tired in this position. So understandably so. He's put in a lot of good work within the past 2 rounds. And Williams is he's not out, but he does look a little dazed. So he's trying to re-guard here. And if I'm being honest, I know this re-guard well because it's the one where you're so dead tired. You try to bring a knee shield in, and instead when someone doesn't accept it, you just go, okay. I mean, I tried, dude, but I don't know what else to say. If you could not pass my guard, it would really make my day okay. Williams probably figuring out this is where he's going to stay, is just trying to block as many punches as possible. And let's see how he gets up. Nope. Instead, they're going to cut to a commercial of something I'm not going to buy or care about. That's round 2 here, kids. This is a rough fight. But you know it's not a rough fight? Listening to According to Woods. If you guys go subscribe to him right now. And yeah, maybe I'm doing this cheers to him because he shared our podcast. That has nothing to do with my endorsement. It's a good show. Go find it. It's on YouTube. It's also on Facebook. So give him a like, give him a share, give him all that sort of stuff. And I guess if I'm saying something nice about him right now, I would say, you know, he made a fan of pro wrestling of one Kevin Bradley. Kevin was talking to me. He's like, I really like this pro wrestling knowledge. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Anyway, Dane Donovan says Williams is taking some heavy damage. That's mild. What's up, El Papanismo? That name, that's a great name. That sounds like a really good Mexican, like luchador superhero. I might have to take that name and franchise the fuck out of it. All right, 3rd and final round. All of us don't feel great about it. Imavov is trying to just fuck with the knees here, trying to attack the legs. Williams is sloppy here, and here's the concerning thing about his sloppiness. He does seem to signal that even when it's sloppy strikes, there does seem to be some strength in them in terms of if those connect, that is bad news. Raph, if you're cornering Williams, do you throw in the towel? I definitely explore that option. It is hard with a fighter like him. I would have to see him in between the rounds and talk to him. That's the only thing I don't know is how he's talking to his corner. And I don't know that he would love it, but I don't love his body language or his mechanics right now. And I wouldn't hesitate to do it. But here's the thing. We mentioned punching power and how he still has knockout wins. So he's a fighter who may just kind of become brighter in moments like this. It just doesn't make it easier, according to Woods. Love you, bro. You're good people. But yeah, I wouldn't have any issues throwing in a towel for one of my friends. And if they didn't want me to be in their corner, they could fire me, not bring me back. But I guarantee you, I could usually make a pretty good, compelling argument if we were able to talk about it and back. Wouldn't be the most popular person though. Definitely would expect that. And be like, oh, I'm gonna ride him back of the bus. I don't want to talk to anybody right now. This is none of our shining moments. Ooh, look at that. Williams does get some strikes there in the corner. Imavov wants no part of being stuck there. Gets out, starts kicking him. I think Imavov is a little tired himself. And Williams is just, he's walking him down. I think he really wants to load up his left hand right now, if I'm being honest. Seems to be trying to, ooh, nice pop there by both of them. Oh no, I think he got popped in the eye is what he's signaling. I don't know. The ref even did one of these. That's a tough one to fucking figure out right there. I think it could have been just in that exchange. He got swatted in a way that he goes, oh, that he hit me so hard. Can you do something about that? That's what it looked like. I would like to hope that he's not getting poked in the eye or anything. I just think he got fucking hooked bad. Ugh. And I think here's the interesting thing about Imavov in this fight. Imavov is doing minimal amounts of movement to stay out of the way. These are very, very functional movement drills in boxing because you don't see him overcommitting, and his body language seems to signal that he's exhausted. Williams really does want to connect with him. The only issue is that he's proving to be very evasive, and that evasiveness for 2 rounds has already proven to be something that was very difficult to go ahead and do. Says, he hit me so hard, can you do something about that? That legitimately is what he looked like. Been there, dude. It's not fun. So here we go. Imavov has essentially led on significant strikes except for the first round. Even then, not important. He is winning this fight. Oh, the referee just touched them both and is separating them. That's an interesting call. I mean, especially all things considered, I think that referee has a death wish for Jordan Williams. Ugh. Oh, now Imavov is even missing on this. He's now at least trying to keep light on his feet, goes back to the center of the cage. I just think that if Imavov is smart, he's going to try and really continue chopping away at it. Do not let Williams back into this. Almost gets the body lock here, pushes him over to the cage. Williams is just exhausted, dude. His body is not great. Ooh, that was a knee that was right on for Imavov. And I do not like the way that you are seeing Williams doubled over. This is bad. This could be a very bad moment for him. Ooh, he's trying to go out, though, on his shield. Again, I knew I liked this kid when I saw him on the Contender Series, but oof. It is possible I also have seen him fight now that I'm thinking more about it. I have to do some more research on that. But Jesus Christ. Yes, he has also fought previously on the Contender Series as well as Bellator 220. Just huge respect for Jordan Williams, who will not come away with a win. And Dan is not going to win on his prop of a knockout. But let's take a look at what he did signal for us. Dan was telling us the prop bet is underneath it, but he said bet $5 to win $435. And he prefaced that with saying ML. So, interesting little turn of events here for us kids. I would normally ask you how you saw that fight, but there's no other way to see that fight other than Jordan Williams survived. And that is period. End of sentence. Good for him. Glad the kid's alive. Interesting fight. Even when they didn't 100% connect, it still was very compelling. And, you know, there's elements of sloppiness, but there was a lot of heart. And, hey, man, some of those strikes are fucking money in that one. So, due respect to both of those fighters. Anyway, here's a good time to remind you guys. My name is Rafa Sparza. I host a show called The Grappling Hour. You are watching it. I also host a show called Verbal Tap. Maybe you listen to it. If you do and you like us, follow us at Grappling Hour and at Verbal Tap on all of the major platforms. We're talking YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you would be so kind for both of those podcasts and you want to give us a 5-star review and a nice little comment in there or something like that, that would mean the world to us. We are now going to the official decision. Let's hear what the judges or I'm sorry, the referees had to say on this one. Or no, it is the judges. Jesus Christ. 29-28. And Imavov does get the win there. So, oh, these guys are giving a big hug to one another. Oh, nope. Master Dean, you got to do the interview first, bro. Don't go shake everybody's hand right now just yet. Now they're going to translate into the French. What's up, Mo Sanchez? He is out of breath, and understandably so. Let us see what they say in terms of the outpost. 29-28. Interesting. He said he took a lot of punch in the first round. Fair. He's saying congratulations to him. He's a good fighter. That's all they're going to interview him on. All right, cool. That's all they're going to say to him. Fair enough. I like literally tell me something about your fight. It happened. Good enough. Thanks for being here. Charles Jourdain is coming up next. And this is Josh Cullabad. So we move up one more. That is the fight that is going to be coming up next for you guys. So maybe they need to fit in both of these fights before we go to the main card. What time is that scheduled for? Yikes. All right. That's where we are on the show program order. I'm going to give this a share also on the Grappling Hour page. We got it. Jesus. What's up, Christopher James Velez? Thank you so much for your like, sir. That's so nice. I love getting notes from everybody who's been wishing us congratulations. This one goes out to one G-Baby. G-Baby, listen, dude. I love Carlos Condit too. Don't make it seem like I don't. I'm here for you if anything goes bad. And I'm also here with you if anything goes good. And if he wins, then we all win. Because, well, maybe not his opponent. But those of us who have interviewed him or know him well know he's a good guy. One of the baddest motherfuckers in UFC history. And I argue, one of the best people to ever fight off the back in the UFC. Anybody who's ever looking for something good to do off of their back, I say watch Carlos Condit's fights. So cheers to you, G-Baby. Much love, bro. Oh, yep. Oh, my God. That's so weird. Let me see. So that's coming up next on that side. I got to do one more toast in a second here. I will take care of that, I promise. I just have to share this on the Verbal Tap page while we still have two more fights to go. Join us for live fight coverage tonight. Josh Kuyabo? Is that what we're supposed to say his name? Because I'm not. I don't think I'm going to say it right. So I'm letting you know ahead of time so that it's not a surprise to any of us here, though. Really, is it ever a surprise when I fuck up a name? To our friends on Instagram, here's how it's going to go. I have to close this down every hour. I have to close down the Instagram live. But don't worry, I will do another one, so don't go anywhere. I'm more than happy to take your questions, your thoughts, your concerns. It says, G-Baby, Grappling Hour is sponsored by Cover Your Mouth podcast. Kind of. I wouldn't say it's an official sponsor because those people give us money. But, I'll say, like, he shows up. He's giving us some good runs. But, like, for the people who, like, pay us money, I can't really put you guys on the same thing. You know what I will show you guys? We did get something. I have not shown anybody this one yet, but don't go anywhere. Oh, except for you guys. I'm going to be right back on the Instagram page. We're going to shut this one down and come back in just a moment. All right. So here's what I've got for you kids. Sometimes I'm surprised by the shit that our sponsor, Nogi BJJ Gear, sends us. I'm just going to unfold this shirt, and I'm going to let you guys do most of the talking. But tell me what you think, and if you recognize somebody that is on this shirt. What's up, Jits Mom? All right, what do you think of that? Nah? Yeah? Who is that? You like? You enjoy? What do you think? Anyway, so that's from NogiBJJGear.com. Appreciate our sponsors always taking care of us. As a reminder, we are going to take a momentary reset on the Instagram page. But if you want to watch us over on our Facebook, our YouTube, or our Periscope pages at Grappling Hour, we're going to continue that party over there. We will come back on Instagram on a second, but those streams only have one break. These have a couple breaks. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys. We'll see you back in a second. You know we love you guys. All right. Boom. Done. All right, fam. We are having a very good day. A beginning, some might say, to what it is. So let me see. Q-labia is the correct pronunciation. And it says Jimmy Superfly Snuka. No. This, my friends, is one Edgy Guerreros. Come on, man. Look at this. How do you not get that one right? I mean, I could understand maybe why, but hey, listen. It was very sweet. They take my love of pro wrestling very seriously, which I sometimes don't even do. But I like when they say things like I like when they say things like, hey, we just sent you something, and I go, I don't know what it is. And then I see something on my door, and I like open it up. And, somebody just messaged me right now, and they just said something. So I'm actually going to send them a photo. Thank you very much, One According to Woods. Yes, that is one Edgy Guerreros. So that's what I got for you kids. I'm going to send a message to my friend who's not going to train with me tomorrow. And I was going to say this. It says, oh, shoot, RIP. And it says, I'm getting one of those shirts. I mean, it's a great shirt, man. All right, they're about to go live here. I'm going to put this on UFC Fight Island for, let's go. Bam. So this is, again, you guys kind of get an idea of how I treat my friends on occasion. So this is what I'm going to send them right now. I'm going to send them a note. So that way they know that I am not pleased with them, because I do like training with my friends. So I'm going to put the shirt and be like, this is how you can see how I respond to them. So you'll see it live on air. All right, here we go. Camera. And here he goes. Yes, because he's telling me he's booked so that he can't actually come train. I got to make sure I do this right. Yes, the fight is about to start. But yes, you will hear me say some shit to my friend, and then I will go ahead and comment on this fight going on right now. Here we go. Hey, what's up, dude? No, I totally get that. You're super booked because you're so busy. Oh, man, that's a fucking great knee attempt anyway. I was going to say, if you did show up, I was going to give you one of these, which is our sponsor's recreation of Eddie Guerrero t-shirts, but I guess you're not going to get one. So, yikes. Womp womp. Go have fun doing things that aren't grappling and grappling with somebody who can beat you up. Anyway, bye. Do you not see how good of a friend I am? All right. Now we are on the Jourdain cute labia for Quibola. Ooh, these are flying knees that are attempting to be done. Culebeo. And Jourdain has been the one trying to instigate some of these flying attacks here that have not really paid off. But man, do I appreciate the gusto of doing that. Very much love him trying to get a hook in. So this is, yes, Josh trying to weigh down, sagging him down to the canvas. Nothing really happening here. I will say Jourdain's doing an excellent job of keeping his balance all the way up here, and has kind of grouped the leg into a single leg attempt here. He does have like a little bit of a body lock. He's just trying to use the momentum here. The hard part about this is there's not really a way he can land himself. Circles him back into the cage as he was trying to get around. And you do see Jourdain just kind of comedically not able to move parts of his own body here. And he pushes him away. Now we have 3:15 left to play here. We're going to see, if you see somebody do a couple flying attacks like that, you know that they're probably in the wheelhouse. And speaking of in the wheelhouse, we return back on to our Instagram. Hey, what's up, everybody? Friendly Neighborhood BJJ Podcaster Rafa Esparza. We are continuing our coverage of UFC Fight Island 4. This is part dos, and we are currently watching the Jourdain and Kulabo, I don't know how to say his name, fight. Hope you're enjoying your evening. And we are taking questions, comments, concerns, since allegations, as we always do every night. We have to make sure that we catch up on our cheers as well, because I got to make sure that we did have a fight earlier in the evening that we did not actually give an acknowledgement to, and that is Luigi, who deserves a fight recap. You can also get a cheers or a toast from myself here if you give us a like and a share on Facebook. Man, Jourdain definitely made a lead leg switch for just a split second there with a nice kick. And oh my God, Josh knocks him down, gets right back up. Jourdain does, however, is now in a guillotine potentially, as you see Galabo kind of moving him over and just putting the pressure on him. This is really an aggressive play here. Now Josh trying to get the takedown once again, or at the very least use the cage to mitigate Jourdain and his movement. And you do see a bloody this, and it says, did Jourdain lose a bet? Rough haircut. Nah, I mean, it's not the worst. Fighters have weird haircuts. That's just something you have to expect, and I don't want to say honor, but expect is a good word. Ugh. There's nothing like trying to get a single leg or a double leg, having someone bleed on top of your back. That's just is very uncomfortable, for being honest. Ugh. So anyway, not quite a good takedown there yet. He tries to grip one of the legs to see if he could run the pipe. Now Jourdain's trying with a guillotine of his own. Oh, does reverse position. Now he's on top. He has 48 seconds to make life miserable in that north-south position. Let's see if he can finish it here. It does look like Josh is trying to use the cage to get out of it. He does manage to peer his head off of it, loses the leg in the disconnect there. What is up, Ran Sid Hant? Thank you for joining us right now. We're watching UFC Fight Island 4. Oof. 20 seconds left to go in this first round. And it has been an interesting round. If we're being honest, it's kind of gone a little bit everywhere. And I think both these fighters kind of want to just let these last 10 seconds play so they can go back to their corners and maybe try and figure out if there's a power-up near them. Maybe a question mark box they can hit with their fist. Maybe some kind of fuel apple that you can give you an extra life, because my God. Yeah, the big right hand by Kulaba or Kulubao is definitely been something to watch. Now they're coming over to Jourdain's nose, and it looks like they're just trying to address the bleeding as best they can from it. A little bit of a compress, a little bit of Vaseline. They cut to a commercial now? Jesus. Get your shit together, ESPN. Like a comment says, Jourdain is the fave? Question mark. Let's find out. I'm going to go on over to my bookie and look at the MMA odds right now. Let's see if anything's moved, by the way. in the time that we have been watching. It says right now, Jourdain was the negative 400 coming in. So that was, yeah, that is the money line, negative 400. Fascinating. Hopefully, I have answered your question. Here we go back. Second round, 450 on my clock right now. Let's keep it going. Oosh. Nice kick that just gets caught by Kulibao. Or Kulibao? I want to hear how they say it so that way I can try and massacre it from there. But yes, Waika, that is what we got going on there, bro. Meanwhile, back in the cage, tries with another flying. As I mentioned, knee does not find a home for it. But if he connects on that, dude, it could be a good night. And it says, yikes, it is still early. Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it very much is. Though it's kind of hard to get a good read live because the number of fighters who I've talked to, they are aware of the betting lines. I don't know that they let it affect them always. There are a number of them. Stop trying to fly with that knee, bro. Just fucking like work on addressing the issue at hand, which is this dude consistently finding your rhythms here, man. I would have more confidence in this dude's hands. So Jourdain, I think, in my opinion, I think he could really find the range here. It's just, I think he's, I think he's mostly just addressing this. I want to bring up something. So the person who I sent that message to just sent me a note back that goes, "I need that shirt. What time are we training tomorrow?" That's very funny. Yes, it's a pretty good foot. Funny and good shirt. I'll send him a note in a second in between rounds. So, all right. Now we're seeing a much more even-handed match here. Both these guys exchanging right in the pocket. They're seeing to find both of their rhythms. And Josh may have signaled that he has a little bit of an eye poke. He is covering it up, and the referee does give a slight moment. It says, Mark Ramondi writes, Josh Galabo's coach's name is Igor Brokenback. Vince McMahon wishes he came up with a name that epic. It's pretty funny. I think that Mark is always Mark is a true pro wrestling fan, so we always appreciate that guy throwing in some pro wrestling knowledge. All right, back to our notes at hand. All right, 206 left. And I mean, rightfully so. The output takes a moment to find its range back again, mostly because these guys had a little bit of a break, and they both kind of look at each other like, bro, you hit so hard. I need a second. I really don't want to keep this up all exactly day of my life. I mean, you were right. We could call him say, yikes, it is still early. It is still early, though, all things considered. I know we're a little bit past the midway part of this fight, but honestly, I just feel like either of these guys could theoretically take the fight if they really want to. All right, 1 minute left on this one. Interesting. Ooh. See, like I said, I just think he needed to get a little confidence in his hands there. Jourdain looking pretty good when he really wants to commit to it. Good uppercut attempt. You saw Josh cover up a little bit there, and now it's a good exchange between the two. What is up, afternoon jiu-jitsu? Oof. Jourdain is in on a neck compression here. It's not quite 100% there. He does have some time to readjust here. I'd like for him to spin and take the back, but if he wants to go ahead and work this out, he does have a guillotine potentially there. He's going to give it up, get some punches to the body. And yes, he does have a much better guillotine. If he really wanted to there, gives it up. Is not going to take that on over. So we're going to see a third round here, kids. Yikes, indeed. I'm going to keep revisiting this comment. Yikes, it's still early. It is. Afternoon Jiu-Jitsu, are you watching the fights along with us? UFC Fight Island forever. That's what it feels like. Actually, all things considered, we're moving nicely tonight. I am feeling good. You know, I will say, since doing these fight companions, I think we have made the evenings go by a little bit faster than sometimes we feel when we watch it by ourselves. I know a lot of different people who do coverage similar to what I do when they're tweeting out or they're watching along and they have some thoughts they want to share. Those are very fucking long nights. Yes, sir, watching along. Excellent. Afternoon Jiu-Jitsu, where are you located at? I don't have time to Facebook stalk you, so I don't know if I know you or if you're somebody who is familiar with us. So let us know. So whoever normally comes as well. So yes, I like the fact that somebody went from being like, nope. Here we go. Have you ever competed in MMA? No, I have not. No interest in it. Thank you, though. Huge fan of it. Train striking, train grappling. Grappling is obviously what I know, what I do, way more. But just an appreciator of the arts. And I have had the fortunateness to be in rooms with a lot of really good fighters who some you know, some you don't. And get some of the best training in the world, man. It's one of the best perks of doing this job pre-COVID was being in rooms with people that I had no business training with and learning as much as possible from those folks. But no, I would much rather be the world's best host. Ooh, oh, Jourdain now trying with the flying shit once again when he has Gabo on the rocks here, guys. Oh my God. I love it. Love it. He's, oh man, beautiful. Continues on and he comes back to life. Jesus, that's how you know it's October, when thriller zombiness happens. Jourdain he's there, man. He's feeling it right now. This is his moment. He might solidify back his favorite spot. Eek. Podcast fan from Chicago. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, my friend. I miss Chicago. I miss Illinois, my friend. Spent 3 years in Illinois. Would go up and visit Chicago a whole bunch. Ooh, Jourdain. Nice little pop there on that jab. Oof. I think he signals. Yes, he has been hit with a low blow. Doesn't really take too long to go ahead and make any differences on any of that kind of shot in right now. So you were seeing Jourdain back in a familiar position. There's that front headlock position with your opponent in turtle. He's trying to pepper some shots in, but using a fairly good base. If he really wanted this guillotine, bro, I know I've said it multiple times, it doesn't look bad. He has to get this right leg trapped out from the half. You can almost see Josh trying to almost use that as leverage that most people in jiu-jitsu would use it as a form of getting a knee bar, but instead he's losing that grip, just keeping himself stuck in that position. Jourdain peppers in with a few shots and now is probably going to make his way to mount if he really wants it, but instead he's kind of in that little bit of a half guard. And I really feel like if he wanted to, dude, he could really take this a little bit further up. Beautifully done so far. Carlos Conde is coming up next. Just to remind you guys, in case you weren't already pod committed as was, beautiful work by Josh to get the guard almost all the way in. He has one leg over and then one leg underneath in a little bit of a butterfly hook. He is trying his best to go to his side to maybe get the other leg free from that butterfly. Yes, he wraps that around. So now you were seeing Jourdain start to punch the body, understanding there is a lot at risk here, kids. So it says, what's the one submission that should be used more often when you watch? Bro, I'll tell you, man, the one that really has gotten me this summer. Ooh, is he saying he got kicked in the nads there from underneath with that? And the referee, when he backs off, goes, hey, no, you go back in there. Is he's on a triangle? No, you should not be at the triangle. I will answer your question in a second, sir. Now with a little bit of a kind of makeshift triangle, he's trying to elbow here, and that's Jourdain trying to make the most use out of this position. And yeah, that arm is now being way more compromised here. Josh is doing his best to try and grab it back. That is a very difficult thing to do. Anybody who's been put in that kind of triangle knows keeping that arm at an advantage for yourself is so hard to reinforce when one of your arms is compromised. Now Jourdain, in a very similar way, is trying to get that isolation to put it in like the pocket using a little bit of mechanics here and a little bit of good old-fashioned pain through the punches and the strikes. And yes, Josh is out, man. Huge moment for Jourdain there. Beautifully done. This is a very close fight in terms of Josh being ahead on strikes with rounds 1 and 2, but round 3 being a huge Jourdain round to end it out. Last 10 seconds. It looks like the two of them are going to give each other a little bit of a respect to one another, and Jourdain kind of once again trying to do his flying nonsense. And both these guys acknowledge each other and raise their hands thinking that they won. So I guess that begs the question, who do you think won? And Kawaka Kalma or Kawika. How do you pronounce it? Phonetically say it in the comments for me, because I'm going to feel bad, especially now that I'm answering your questions. What's one submission that you should be used more often when you watch? So I was saying all this summer it's been arm bars, and I think that is tough to do, period. But they've been doing it from arm bars from guard this summer, and it has blown my mind, because I always think to myself, we always think that's so easy to get out of. I guess that's why we do the warm-ups. For me, Kimuras. I love Kimuras myself, but I really feel like sometimes when people get to their sides, there's a way to put so much more pressure on them that makes them give up their arms. So I don't ever profess that I'm stronger than anybody I roll with, but I like to think that my game is designed to put pressure on people to make them give up the Kavaka. Thank you. Now I feel much better. Now I feel like, because I mess up people's names on purpose, but I don't want to mess up fans, people who are showing in and giving us love. That seems rude. Unless you want me to. I'll do it on purpose. I have no issue with that. But yeah, I feel like Kimuras have a very nice implementation. I'd love to see them use more. A lot of people want foot locks and leg locks. They get their heel hooks every once in a good while. I'm good with that. But if I were somebody who is working with a fighter, a lot of times they have brute strength and they can really take those Kimuras and then make them look nasty. I would just tell you guys that I feel like anytime you get somebody to the side, there's like a whole Kimura trap system that if you fail, you're still succeeding. My opinion. And you have a majority draw. Nah, I don't hate it. I really don't hate that one. It is Diddy Dorendi. Thank you for joining us. We're watching UFC Fight Island 4. No fight interviews with a tie. That's the saddest part of that whole scenario. Imagine putting in 15 minutes of work, your heart, your soul into a fight, and then you're hoping for the post-fight interview where you win. I know they're running late, so that's why they're not doing it. But I would like to think that if I ended up getting a tie with somebody, that at the very least, you could interview both of us. Again, that's if they weren't running late, which they are. So anyway, Kavaka, hopefully that answers your question, man. If it doesn't, and you aren't satisfied with it, there's no receipt. No interviews for you. Yeah, no shit, man. What's up, Ninja-tastic? That's a great name, by the way. I just feel so bad, man. I've been around so many fighters who look around and are like, is nobody going to interview me? And I would say that's how we've gotten some of the bigger interviews in our lifetime. I do tell this story a lot, but my first Danaher interview was I was just going up to him and I said, hey, you know, I've heard a lot about you from the guys, you know, Gary and Gordon, and at the time, Eddie. And I said, I just wanted to come up and say hello. And you hear Danaher in his very Danaher way say, well, that's wonderful. So great to meet you. But what is it that we are going to be speaking about right now? And I go, what? Oh, this dummy doesn't understand. I wasn't asking for an interview, but now I'm going to take one. So, yikes. Are you really the smartest person in jiu-jitsu? Because I just somehow finagled an interview without trying. But he's always been very generous with his time. So I've been very lucky to get a number of interviews with Danaher. I look forward to seeing him again when I do live coverage again. Because obviously those guys are still competing. And, you know, yesterday watching Who's Number One, or at least the little clips that I did get to see of it, you know, there's always something that they're doing that's very interesting from that squad and that team. So I love it. What size? So anyways, kids, that's just a little bit about my perspective, my thoughts. But yeah, I would love to run into Danaher again and do another interview. There's always so much. Like every time I've interviewed him, I could feel like I can do those interviews forever. Mostly because I ask him a question that's like, how are you doing today, Danaher? And he goes, the concept of day dates back to feudal Japan, where many people wondered as they would look up at the sun and they would think, how can you understand when day really begins? So that's our good nature, making fun and ribbing him. Man, look at this. What's up, Zoraida Perez? Good to see you. You know that you've been fighting a long time when your fight highlights aren't even in HD. And when you could wear other sponsors in there. And here's the thing, Carlos Condit still looks young. Good for him, man. What a beast. I like that Phil Sports that says, whatever, Carlos Condit is about the cage fight, which is a very funny comment. So this is the main event of the prelims, which is a fancy way of saying it's the people you should know the most. I'm nervous about this fight. I want Carlos to win. G-Baby is probably hanging by a thread right now. But I don't hate Court McGee. So it's tough for me. I'm going to put this one up to our comment section. Please chime in, friends. Yeah, I don't see how you can't be going for Carlos Condit. I'm seeing now chats from Press Row Central all saying, like, how can you not go for Carlos Condit? So that's a question I got for you guys who are watching right now. Let me know in the comment section who y'all have. Yeah, look at all you guys. Oof. Twitter is always a cesspool of crazy. So I'm doing my best to navigate even some of these crazy comments that we see from people talking about this series of fights that are happening right now. I also just got a note. It says, what's happening here? On air. I'll check it out later. But my best friend Bobby sent me a note. It says, John Jones continuing to fuel the fire. According to Vegas, Izzy is the underdog. Would you take him in this bout? So apparently there's something to be said of John Jones making fun of Izzy. And it says, number one, dye my hair pink. You know what? I'll go ahead and actually put this for you guys can see what I'm looking at. My best friend, Court, but no money on it. Fair. I get you, bro. Let me see. Connor will give me a second. I'll come back to you guys. I will address those individually. Is that the one? Yeah. Okay. So I think this is it. Hopefully I've done this right. Yes, it is. So here's the post that my best friend is talking about right now. It says, and I'll read it for you guys as they're about to do the walkouts. Karen Bryant, you're the best. It says, number 1, dye my hair pink. Number 2, grow a pair of breasts. Number 3, convince the world Jon Jones is jealous, even though he's undefeated, incredibly successful, and the youngest champion in sports history. 4, mention Jon Jones in all interviews, but avoid fighting him at all costs. Okay. So this is Jon Jones trolling Israel Adesanya. It occurs to me that Dana White now is in on this fight. I don't know where he felt before, but I think he can hear a cashier going ka-ching between those two. I don't know that I love it right now. We'll see. G-Baby, listen, dude. This is not going to turn into a therapy session for you. I refuse to coddle you on this one. What would Carlos Condit say to you right now? He would probably tell you something about being a warrior. He might tell you a little bit about the other industries he has business ventures in, maybe coffee. But more than likely, he would say, I'm a warrior and you're a warrior too. And I love you because I'm Carlos Condit and I approve this message. That's it. Dane Donovan, way more confident, saying Condit will take it home. What's up, Heather Fowler? And it says, court, no money on it. Angel Otero, look at this. Angel Otero. Thank you so much for the kind note, by the way, yesterday. I appreciate you, bro. I was going to make fun of you, but then I realized, nah, I'm not going to do that. A lot of you guys sent really nice notes when we said all the things that we were doing with our past year of life. It says warrior life, yo. That's what I'm saying, bro. Let me see this. You're a warrior too, Raph. Thank you. That is something I tell every person I know. Except I say it in that, like, leave Britney alone voice. It's like, I'm a warrior too. Carlos Condit's elbows, I think, are some of the most underrated striking mechanisms in all of MMA. So I've always wondered, G-Baby, if you've rolled with him, even when you roll with him, do you have issues with those elbows? Because I don't know if he's like the white belt that, like, because he just got his blue belt ish, you know. But when, you know, white belts put their elbows to break guard and they just kind of do that. I thought if Carlos Condit did that to a person, he might paralyze somebody. It says, shout out to 100 Hands Craft Coffee. Absolutely. And hell, very much. I did already acknowledge that one. I do want to say this. If you give us a like and a share, we will give you a toast on air. And, ooh, look at that. Carlos very much coming in with the Mick Jagger rooster face on him right now. Definitely like the posture comes up a little bit more, kind of pecking around. Good for him, man. He's got his Carlos Condit little coif there. Fans of the show, longtime fans of the show, will know that our show famously started with Kevin having a giant man crush on Carlos Condit, and when he met him live, could not just stop staring at him to the point where I said, hi, Carlos. The bit is Kevin has an infatuation with you. And he goes, got it. Totally got it, man. No big deal. Let's do this. It says, I want to see G-Baby versus Condit in the next SUG. I like G-Baby. I'm not doing that to him. Don't make me cry on that one. I don't know. I've never seen him roll like with G-Baby. I don't know. Maybe G-Baby's got some good leg attacks. Maybe there's something to G-Baby's game that we don't know. I know he trains with. I could ask. But I usually don't try to do that unless I know the person and I actually really want to beat them up. Then I do inside intel. Man, 43 fights. You can tell Carlos Condit is serious because he has that look in his face like he's almost confused why someone is about to say his name right now. man, to see him just headlining the prelims, it does upset me a little bit, but I get it. It is important to have people who are notable lead off the kickoff to the bigger fights. I totally get it. It's just still a little part of me that dies. All right, here we go. Oh no, I already did that one. Here we go, kids. 450 on my clock. Condit in the black trunks, McGee in the whiterish. It's always hard to call those white trunks, but yeah, let's say silverish, whitish trunks. Court, very good stance thus far in. Condit being a little more loose with his stance. It's a very big invitation to say, hey, please come try to play punch face with me. Condit. Ben Folks writes, just give me a good Carlos Condit fight here. He doesn't even have to win it. Just don't give me a Court McGee fight. Is that too much of it to ask? I mean, probably. Yeah. I get you on that one. I feel that one. Ben Folks recently on the Verbal Tapcast. Yeah, it's one of them. Go listen to that. He's very good on it. It was a big honor to actually have somebody who I very much appreciate. So that dude is, I think, maybe the highest of standards in MMA coverage. All right, back here. Court still keeping a good distance away from Condit. And I think part of that is just this is a dude who's fought famously to the point where gets a nice kick on GSP that could have changed fortunes very quickly on GSP's career and Condit's career. And I think maybe McGee has that picture of Condit stuck in his head right now. Meanwhile, Condit looking for him to just kind of come and engage with him. And that, again, as we mentioned before, is a heavy invitation. Nice inside kick by McGee, though. Very much appreciate that. McGee trying to just get his distance with a few of these kicks, feeling if he might be able to kind of connect with Carlos as this fight goes on. 3 minutes left to go here. Condit looking very spry on the steps here. Good bounce to him. I mean, dude, Condit is what, 36 is what they said? It's just incredible to keep thinking that this dude is still fighting. I remember years ago, Condit was like, yep, you got to start thinking. He's going to have to start hanging it up. I was like, dude, we had that conversation about him, what, 5-6 years ago? And yet still here he is, man. And I know G-Baby could probably tell you a lot more about this, but his reasons for fighting, he doesn't have to. I just think that he's a guy who, this is what he does. When you do something really well, it's kind of like, man, I'm going to do this for as long as my body will humanly let me do this. So what's up, NEA, Lapa BJJ? Thank you for joining. Hopefully you were enjoying your day. So Ben Folks was talking about a Court McGee fight versus a Carlos Condit fight. And right now we are getting a Court McGee fight. Nice exchange between the two of them. I think Condit's patience might be wearing off here, as you do see him wanting to go ahead and start engaging a little bit more aggressively, one might say. We're getting some notes here. I'm going to just double check on all things. Look at this. And hell, you gave us a nice little cheers here, bud. I'm going to go ahead and come back to you in a second. Don't wander too far in hell. I got you for a cheers coming up in just a few. I want to say thank you to other folks who have given us likes. I'm looking around, just making sure I'm picking up all the folks here. I see Glenn. I see Spencer. Thank you guys for the likes. Appreciate y'all. You get a like and a share. You will get a cheers on air. Ooh, okay. Okay, I see those kicks now. I see what Court McGee is a little doing here. Court McGee is waiting for the kick so that he can counter with the right hand straight on the button right there on Condit. And Condit has no appreciation for this at all. And that is what I'm nervous about. So, G-Baby, we were talking about not being nervous. We were talking about being a warrior. Now I'm a little bit more on the worry train. If only in that McGee has a very well-researched plan for Condit here. It's a lure. It's a trap here. I just like that Condit, he's aware of it. The question is Can he counter it? Nice kick over there by McGee to the midsection. A little bit of a little push there to the stomach with the foot. Nothing too crazy again. Condit's trying to stay loose, not overcommit to anything thus far in. Yeah, I see McGee's hands. I see what he's trying to do here. And Condit's coming in with the different angles, and he knocks him down just at the buzzer there. And the referee is like, are you alive? Are you okay? Well, then go to your corner. Good Lord. All right. How do you guys have that one scored? G baby, I'm not asking you. You're not allowed to answer. Need to make sure you're okay. All right. Let me go ahead and give another cheers out right now. This cheers goes on out to one Angel Otero. Angel Otero, by the way, in case you guys have forgotten, is our resident Kurt Angle impersonator. To the point where when he was 16, he actually shaved his head. And when they said, are you going to prom? I've heard a rumor that you may be. He said, it's true. Oh, it's damn true. Also wore a singlet to it. It's a weird choice, but, you know, it's a different time. Kids had to be there. All right. Cheers to you, and how. What is up, AJ? The Magus? Or Bimagus? Yep, good counter there by Condit. Now reversing a little bit of that. If Condit can do that again, we are in business here, kids. I think Mark Goodard stopping right then and there was very nice. And so Condit took that round. Okay. World's Most Okayest is, by the way, a great name. Thank you very much for watching along. We're watching UFC Fight Island 4. On the screen right now, Carlos Condit and Court McGee are battling it out. You were seeing a little bit more of a confident Carlos Condit hold court here with just 4 minutes left to go in the second round. But thus far, it is very interesting here. And it said, when Condit dropped McGee at the end of round 1, I shouted so loud it made both my daughters jump. I regret nothing. That is from one Ben Folks. I understand that. It's hard. It's hard here. I see lots of giant smiles here, and it says broken nose. I don't know, man. That's a great question. I just assume every fighter has a broken nose. So sometimes when you see blood dripping out of it, it's just kind of like, oh, there that goes again. Someone turn that faucet off. All right, so here's what I do want to see. I do want to see Condit utilize a little bit more of his own countering game here. Because I think at a certain point, if he's got the confidence going in with not only Court's timing, but the fact that he made such a big statement at the end of that first round, he might have the momentum here. Because Court is waiting for him to load up so that he can counter off this. Yeah, well, there's one thing you can't tell Carlos Condit to do, which is do the strategy. Condit, he's just got that fight spirit, man. You know, there are things that I think strategically could win him the fight a lot easier, but he's just going to go out there and just be a fucking warrior, like we've been saying all night. Nice chop of the leg by Court McGee. We're at the halfway point of this fight. Condit switches his stances here. Looks like he's going to feint a kick. Doesn't do anything with it. Court sees if he can go ahead and connect on a kick, but then pulls back. All right. Ooh. Looked like Condit's shoulder ate that kick, and G was just like, sure, I don't give a fuck, man. Eesh. Apparently Ramsey Ninjum is there, and in case you guys haven't seen it, there is a Brian Gumbel Real Sports episode that happened on HBO where they talked about weight cutting. It's an interesting look at it. And the UFC was not great. They weren't really the prominent focus of it because obviously the UFC is not going to talk about it. But I would encourage you to look at it. Man, talk about being confident in yourself. How many people here have boxing coaches that have told them to keep both hands up after hitting a combination? And then look at the way that Carlos Condit not only comes in for these combination, but then he lands it and then walks away as if he has basically hit a knockoff home run each time. I don't know that I would advise that, but it's certainly cool looking. I mean, Carlos Condit is 1,000,000% the Keanu Reeves of the UFC. I think that's a fact, right? I think that is an undisputed fact here. Ooh, again, this is what I want. I want Carlos just on this counter game. I want him to fucking charge it up, hold, let Court push in. If he's so confident in this timing, I feel that the moment he sees it, I think he's going to be able to capitalize here. And again, you get the sense that a lot of times they say stuff like, are they fighting for their career? He's throwing some spinning back fist shit now. How do you not fucking love Carlos Condit? Nice little tag there by Court McGee. Good little jab. Nothing crazy there. Jesus Christ. I don't even know what Condit's doing with his arms on some of those strikes. And the very last part gives him a nice little tag on the stomach as to be like, hey, that's fun. Let's keep this up. All right. Let's say to our people watching right now, who do you think took that round? I'm going to guess it's Condit. It says Carlos is turning back the hands of time. He's looking great. I can agree to that. So far, so good. Oh, no. We have an update. Yes, you were asking about a broken nose. So maybe let me give you a little bit of what Ben Folks found for us. Thank God Ben Folks is out there doing the Lord's work here, kids. Oof. All right. Ready for it? Yup. That is Court McGee's nose right now. So, when sometimes you get silly putty out of the container and then it goes a certain way and it just kind of like molds? That's essentially what's happening here. Either that or it's a really, really epic Picasso painting. Anyway, yikes. All right, well, that's got to be very encouraging to one Carlos Condit. You always get the feeling if any of these fighters found a genie, if they, their first wish is just like, yeah, Genie, could you make me not feel broken again? And the genie's like, sorry, dude. It's like no wishing for other wishes and no repairing MMA brokenness. It says it's broken, uncle. Yeah, it's not good. Let's put it this way. It's the opposite of operational. Stupid. 358 left to go in this fight, and now I'm more concerned than ever for Court McGee's nose, because you think of the two possibilities. One, you lose, and then what? You got nothing to show for it, and your nose sucks for a good while now. Or two, you win, and then you say, I won at Abu Dhabi, and all I got was this stupid fucking broken nose. All right, here we go. I mean, Court's not sifting anything. Condit gets a nice trip after catching the leg, but cannot capitalize on it because Court McGee gets back up very quickly. No life alert for this young man. That's how you can tell I'm excited. My head is back in full frame here. I'm very much here. Condit with a great kick. Gee goes straight to the midsection, and you see Condit again just being very loose. His arms go all over the place. Now he's got the tattoos all over his arms that make you wonder, oh, do I want to figure out what that story is telling me? Ooh, Condit coming in with this elbow. No one invited the elbow to this party, Carlos Condit. No. I don't like his elbows in a form that make me think that could hit a person and kill them. But I also love them because they're so effective. Ooh, looks like Conor got tagged a little bit, just trips it for a split second. 2:30 left to go. That's all that's happening left in this third round. And yet you get the idea where Carlos Condit, at the very least, justifies his relevancy in the UFC. Like, you look at him fighting right now and you say, yeah, this is a guy who still should be fighting, right? What is up, Mo? Mayo 203 right now. We're watching UFC Fight Island 4. Man. Oh, Condit with 28 head strikes to Court McGee's 15. And Court McGee now is starting to bleed all sorts of things. Condit, again, being very, very loose with his hands. And most of that is just by design. I mean, I've seen him, like, whenever Carlos Condit fights, he keeps his hands out here. I feel like he's always making a box. Do you guys get that sense? Like, I feel like when he's doing this, it's always like that. Like, I always wish the little Uma Thurman box would happen on the telestrator every time he does it, because I just think, like, holy fuck, dude. I don't think I could ever do that in a fight. I don't think I could take a moment to make a box. I would probably just get knocked out moments right then and there. I mean, yeah, I don't know. If Conant gets the win, do you think he calls it closer to a day? Are we looking for a bigger marquee fight to go out on? I don't know, man. Dude's still one of the best people in the world. I think I might have to try and figure out a training session for Kevin to have with him at some point. G-Baby, let's see if we can figure that out in the future. G-Baby, are you alive? Are you good? I know you still got 46 seconds before you can really feel something, but your boy's looking good. Conant, we worked through a lot. You know, we were nervous for him. We weren't sure how it was going to go. They're fine. And, you know, I'm knocking on wood, but that's just to make sure that the next 20 seconds are okay. And again, Carlos not stopping, not content with just winning the fight on points, still trying to go for a finish here, as Court is very much trying to attack like he needs something to win there. There's a beautiful spinning back kick there that has no home for anybody. And yet this is Carlos just being evasive, nice, shadow boxing, maybe being a little too cavalier for my standards. And they go to the end, and Condit gives him the nicest bro hug there is, while also still waiting for the decision. Condit takes one look up to see what he looks like, and guess what? It's exactly the same. I have a note here. It says Condit hurt his left knee. Looks like it gave out for a second. Maybe. I don't know if that was the direct result of maybe a late reaction he could have to having it affected earlier. It's hard to say. A lot of fighters cover up their injuries, so that sometimes we go, oh man, it was definitely this. And they go, no, it was 2 weeks ago. Oh, okay. Cool story. Cool. Thanks for letting us know. But I guess on one side, you probably wouldn't tell us even if you did know what was wrong with it. So, yeah, kids, we're about ready for this decision. Guess I'm not crying tonight. Yeah, you sound like Gil from The Simpsons. Oh, I guess, come on, Condit. G-Baby really needs this one. Come on. Oh, man. Oh, look at that. Condit literally just threw his mouth guard. This is 29-27. And NBK, let's see if they do him the service of a post-fight interview. They better, because that man is a legend. It says, congrats to Condit. Absolutely. All right. Now they're talking about the journey. Remember what I said, Keanu Reeves? Not lying. What's up, Mondo versus the World? You're just joining us right now as Carlos Condit has gotten a win. Okay. So now Dan's asking him about the differences between the first and the second round. Very nice. Says Court is a super, super tough guy. So basically finishes the interview by saying, Court's like, he's a really good guy, man. Can't leave myself out there too much. Too much? Who knows, man? He's a really good guy. So, a lot of due respect, man. I still love this. I like that you wrote out a huge congrats to Condit. Like, I'm going to forward this to him. Maybe I will. Gee, baby will. Hey, kids, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a momentary break. We are going to come back in about 5 minutes. We're going to do the main card all together as a family. So if you need to go take a little restroom break, get yourself some food, get some more drink, beverage, do what you need to do. We're going to come back, do the main card, and we're going to have some fun. My name is Rafa Sparza. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to. We still got 5 fights to close out this evening. So we'll see you back in a second. Same with you guys on Instagram. Much love.